All right. Get our ambience going. Get our music going. And here we are. Rodick, Bunko, and Lieutenant Jirak all find themselves in an abandoned officer's suite. Probably junior officer's quarters. It's not very large. On deck, I want to say probably 47, Section B. And inside, you've dragged 3 Stormtroopers with you. You've got the Hulk of Signal. And, yeah, that's pretty accurate. And Reyla is in here unconscious as well. And you've, I think, just pulled the door shut. Pulled, I emphasize, because power is off in this section due to the overload. And you all have a moment to breathe. You've taken your second winds. And one of the Stormtroopers begins to cough in their helmet. And Lieutenant Jirak goes forward to help him. Bunko and Rodick. Oh yeah, Hallek is here too. Bunko and Rodick, what do you guys do?
Well, first thing I do is I use my 3 swifts to get rid of my condition track.
Nice.
I'm going to probably approach everybody that I can and use my medical scanner on everyone that's down. See if anybody's worse off than the others.
Okay. So the one that just woke up, not doing terribly great. Does that thing show you hit points? I thought
hit points
one
and
thing.
condition track.
Okay. Let me give you some specifics then.
Let's see.
Cool,
Condition
cool.
track. -5. -4.
Probably not good. I'm actually popping over right now to get all my stuff pulled up.
So, 2 of the Stormtroopers are hovering in the loosely defined limbo in the rules between 0 and 1. And they are at condition track helpless. The other is at condition track -5, and his HP
Should be his level.
yeah, is equal to his level. I think I'm in the right book. Why is it not? There it is.
Actually, you know what? I take that back before you continue to tell me. Is it working? I just remember what happened
yeah,
at the
that's.
end.
Thank you for reminding me.
With my mind that our electronics got fried out.
It's fuzzy. Not all of your electronics are pure dead. This was not a full-on EMP. Some things were shut down due to they had like an active power surge going through them at the time, and they're in a process of overload diagnostics. Some things are just acting a little funky. You'll probably have to do something to take care of that. This thing is still active. It's not giving you the most accurate information. I'll give you the Stormtroopers because the 2 downed ones because they were pretty easy. Obviously, they're unconscious.
Oh yeah.
This one, he's not doing good. You would say he's barely conscious.
I'm going to turn and look to the a few other conscious people and say that this is not good. There's some sort of diagnostic mode I can run on my gauntlet. In the meantime, make sure that I can get my gauntlet weapons back online at least.
You'll need to make a mechanics check. It's not going to be particularly difficult, but you're going to need to make it. It's going to be something that most of your electronic systems are actually probably going to have to do. So if you want to just start resetting your electronics gear, you can go ahead and do that.
I'm gonna back off and start doing that. I think is make sure the door is secure as much as we can before I do that, though.
Yeah, I think Hal's leaning over by the door, and he's definitely nodding that he's got it secure as you're kind of distracted by taking care of your suit.
Once we get these people stabilized, Hal, looks like we're gonna have to push on and hope that we can find something on our own. I think we're about out of options. I'm just going to comment as I start tinkering with the resets.
Alright, so give me a mechanics roll, please, Rodick.
Is Reyla up right now?
Nope.
What about Bunko?
You want me to do that, Rodick?
I might ask if Bunko could give me a hand with this thing and pop my side gauntlet open and see if I can get a test run on it.
Yeah. Something Bunko could do.
I'll pop the side where the connectors are in my gauntlet and let her take a look at it while I'm trying to get the reset going.
Do mechanics? Or...
Yep. That's a good mechanics roll. It seems like you can probably get most of his system issues sorted out with like a simple 2 or 3 minute reboot pattern. It seems that there's something funky going on with his helmet. Probably not an issue caused by the the shock in the hallway. The rest of his systems are acting pretty much as normal. You just need to kind of reset them.
How about leaks?
Yeah, you want to check for suit integrity. I'm pretty sure we established that somebody, I think it might have been Rodick, had an unfortunate. No, maybe it was. Was
Reyla.
it Reyla?
It was
yeah,
Reyla.
it was Reyla. Reyla had an unfortunate problem with a suit integrity leak when she got shot. Maybe. Are you checking your own Bunko or Rodick's or what?
Yeah, I'll check my own first, and then I'll move on to other people.
Okay. This would be a mechanics diagnostics check. Alrighty, let's see here. So you can see that while very close in a few places, you got very lucky on your rolls that I made for you. Your suit is intact.
All right.
You got very lucky.
I move on to. You want me to do you, Rodick, or?
Rodick will just kind of nod and let you look it over and say that it's, well, I'm shot anyway, or don't think that that's going to help much. Even if I'm breathing it in more, I think it might be too late. I'll look over towards Reyla and just kind of look back towards you again.
Alright, I'll check Reyla then.
Alright, give me another mechanics roll. So yeah, there was a suit breach. I think you look and you see that there's like a little light blinking in her helmet. And I think maybe you wince a little bit when you look and you see that there's a blaster mark on her shoulder.
That got there.
Yeah, the one of the zombies must have done it. She does seem to have some sort of suit integrity issue. You're not exactly sure how much of a leak it is, and if any atmosphere actually got in or not. Hard to say given the pressure differential.
Alright. I know...
HGP, when these people wake up, you might need to head back to the infirmary. Hal and I don't have that much time left.
These people are probably not going to wake up for a while.
Yeah, I think the one that did is in really rough shape, and I think Lieutenant Jirak is not in great shape too. And he comes up and says, "This is a horrible delay. Most unfortunate. Not exactly sure what happened. My men are, well." He casts a glance towards the hallway. My remaining men are conscious. I do not believe that they will die from their wounds, but one of them seems to have a suit breach. I do not believe it'll be easy to move them.
I'm gonna nod and say then one of us is gonna have to go back and get help. Well, those of us that don't have time are going to have to move forwards. I'm going to look back to everybody and say that the odds aren't good, especially with signal offline. Is there any chance we can bring him back?
We can make a system reboot, but that's going to probably take an hour or so.
Rodick will nod and say it's an hour we don't have, but you should probably start it before we attempt to leave. Perhaps signal will come back online and be able to make his way to safety. I don't know if these things are too interested in droids.
What we can do here is, I can carry Reyla, the Stormtroopers can carry one Stormtrooper each, but then that means that it's just you and, Hal, if you guys are going to move ahead.
I don't think there's much of a choice. I don't think the odds are very good, though. We had to run into another mob of them. I'm not doing that well. But nonetheless, we can't take these people forward. Somebody's gonna have to try and either get help or get them back.
What's Hal think?
You there, Star? Did we lose Star?
Star?
It's in the channel.
Let me type to him.
You not hear me?
Hear you now.
Now we hear you.
Oh, okay. Where did I cut out?
I have not heard you speak for some time.
Oh crap.
I was talking to Bunko and I didn't hear one word from you during the
I
whole
think they
conversation.
mentioned the status of the down stormtroopers, and that was the last time.
Okay.
I think it was you were talking dialogue for the Master Stormtrooper, whatever his name is.
That was the last thing I heard. Sorry, man.
No, yeah. I mean, this happens. So what are you guys deciding to do?
What does well, we're thinking of splitting up. Me carrying Reyla and Stormtroopers carrying one Stormtrooper each, and Hal and Rodick going towards where we were going towards.
I think Lieutenant Jirak responds that he would hate to send you, and by you he kind of gestures towards Hal and Rodick on alone without assistance. However, he must get his men back to the medical bay. This seems like maybe the only option. He definitely can't force the both of you to return back to the bay with him. He understands that your time might be short.
Rodick nods and says that yeah, by my math, it's our only option. And I'm going to pull into my armor, and I'm going to take out a very specific nuke-tipped shell, load it into my wristband, and say that if I can't make it back, we'll take out as many as we can.
What does Hal think of the plan?
Hal's been noticeably quiet. You haven't been able to see him in his armor. He seems to be leaned a little bit uncomfortably against the door. When you ask him what he thinks of the plan, I think he turns, and you can probably detect a bit of a wince in his body language. Like you're pretty much trained to recognize that, Bunko. And he replies that he'll go with Rodick. He would not like to abandon him.
Bend down and say, I don't see any other option, Hal. If you see a third way out, I'm willing to listen, but I can't think of anything.
He has, after Roddick's system boots up, he has a map of where we were going to, right?
Yeah, and that is one thing. Now that you don't have such a large group, and you also don't have signal, you might be able to go through the maintenance shaft instead of taking the turbo elevator. Because that was something you guys were talking about before, but signal can't traverse ladders.
I think I'm going to nod and tell Agent B to get these people back. See if we can start a reboot on Signal before we leave. Does Signal have a built-in communicator? Do I know if he has a built-in communicator? He does, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to suggest that you start a reboot on him before we leave the closet.
Is that I push the button and cross my fingers, or is that a...
You're going to need to spend 5 or 10 minutes figuring out what the problem is. Normally, this would require an hour. What I'm going to say is you could try to set him into some sort of self-repair mode. It will take longer than the standard hour, though, and it's going to be an uncertain amount of time. You'll have to devote like 5 to 10 minutes to it, and it will be at the very least more than the standard hour that it would take to actually repair him yourself.
All right.
And it might not be a guaranteed success. I will probably be adjusting the DC.
Alex going to turn to Hal and back to B and say that I'm going to wish you good luck, but I don't think there's any reason for us to still be here. We should probably get a move on before the condition gets worse.
Alright, so I think Lieutenant Jirak moves forward, gives you a nod, and says, luck be with you, and hands you a couple spare energy packs, saying if in case you need them, and I think probably a spare concussion grenade.
I will thank him, and I'll probably pass the energy packs to Hal and see if he needs them, since I'm not using energy weapons, and I will totally take the concussion grenade and slip that in.
Yeah, he'll take
belt.
them.
I need to reboot my equipment.
All right. So, yeah, it's gonna take some time for your stuff to reboot, Bunko. You don't actually have external comms at the moment. Just local stuff right now. It's still technically a success in terms of like it will reboot. It's just it might take 20 or 30 minutes for everything to get back in working order. So, Rodick, do you head out with Hallek?
Yes, I do. Lock and load and head on out.
All right. So I guess Hal moves and pries the door open. After a moment, he sticks his helmeted head out and looks both ways. And upon promptly not getting his head chewed off by a zombie, moves the door the rest of the way open and gestures for you to follow.
I shoulder my shotgun and retract the stock again and head out with him.
All right. Bunko, do you want to try to set signal in like an auto repair mode and then move out with Lieutenant Jirak back to the medical center?
You said it was going to take 15 minutes to do it, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll have you make the roll, and that will take up like your 10 minutes of time to try it, and we'll cut over to Rodick and Hal.
Okay.
Right. So, unless you want to head out right now, or are you not going to take the time to do it?
Well, it took the whole time that it took us to get here from the medical bay was like 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be more concerned about people's livelihood than signal going through a boot up process a little earlier.
Okay. All right. So you're just gonna leave him.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I guess with that, everybody heads out, and Rodick and Hal start to head afterwards, and everybody else begins to make their way forwards. The stormtrooper who's barely conscious is having a really hard time carrying the other one, and I think Lieutenant Jirak literally just shoulders one over each arm, like this big ass Barabel, bigger than a Trandoshan.
Dinosaur in a suit of armor.
All right, so I think Hal's moving alongside you, Rodick. You can tell he's walking definitely with a little bit of a gait, and he's got his gun out, and I think you guys are making your way to the lit area of the corridor, like 200 or 300 feet down, where you would actually engage the stormtrooper zombies in that protracted sniper duel.
Just shake my head and say, who thought you'd be dying with me today, huh? And I'm just going to keep walking.
I think he grunts and he says, the odds are looking increasingly good. Honestly, I thought I thought I'd be dead about 1,100 years ago.
Just gonna shake my head and say, aren't you glad you came along?
I think he shrugs and he says, didn't have anything better to do. You guys moved past the corpses of the stormtroopers?
I'll probably glance down and say, I don't need a new blaster rifle. How about you? As we pass past it.
One of them begins to slowly move on the floor.
Holy crap!
Yeah. It's obvious that you shot him like through the throat. And as you move past, the armor begins to move and slowly crawl in your direction. And like try to get to a knee.
Oh, tasty.
Oh
Yep.
God. Yeah, I think I might just reel back and so I don't want to be too loud and attempt to punch this thing with my vibro knife that I will pop out of my gauntlet right in the head.
All right, give me an attack roll. I'll give you like a +5 because not only is he mostly prone, he's really slow at the moment.
Okay, let me roll it here. Give me 1 second, looking for my unarmed. My vibro knife, rather. Here we go.
Punch it right through his helmet. Nice. Yeah. So you shink, and then you just stab him right through the white plasteel helmet, and there's like a gout of brownish blood that kind of starts oozing out, and the body shudders and then passes like just falls like past your leg onto the floor and shudders there for a few moments and stops moving.
As I retract my gauntlet blade, I'll think about the fact I'm probably going to want to replace this before I eat with it again, and snap it back into my wrist, and turn back to Hal and say, let's keep going.
I think as you're moving on, Hal just says it's a good thing you got all your fruit slicing done before we got here.
I'm gonna laugh a bit at that.
So down the other section of the hall, Bunko, you are moving past the blast area, where the explosion took place. You can see where the horde of zombies was pretty much decimated by this. You also see the two forms of the pair of Imperial techs that went with you guys. They were wearing a pair of black suits, Enviro suits, basically kind of like their piloting suits, very akin to this. They've got tool belts and stuff. One of them has like a large battery strapped to her back. The other one has like a utility backpack on with tools and stuff. Their bodies are there, and I think as you're moving past, it's not as you're moving past. You're getting there, and you see one of them actually starts to move. They're still alive.
All right. How close are we?
They're probably about 10 or 12 feet ahead of you before you notice that one of the techs is still moving.
All right.
It's been about 10 minutes since the blast.
What is the dinosaur stormtrooper's name?
Lieutenant Jirak.
I'll write that down so I don't keep on asking.
It's on the sheet.
Oh, okay. So I tell Lieutenant Jirak that looks like one of the techs is moving, might still be alive.
Yeah. So he's got a stormtrooper over both arms, and you say that, and I think he quickens his pace to move forward to check the down man. The revived stormtrooper near him moves forward, with his pistol in his hand, calls out a name. I think he says, "Hust, are you all right?" And he goes to take a knee by the two bodies. And then he starts to turn over the downed technician. Do you help him or do you stand watch?
I say careful, and I stand watch with my gun up ready.
Okay, yeah. So he turns the body over, and he reels back as it starts to reach for him, and you hear a curse as he falls back onto his ass, and he starts scooting away. The black suited figure, missing a hand, is you can see inside of her helmet. Her skin has become gaunt within her helmet. But other than that, looks pretty alive, except for the fact that her eyes are unfocused and she's gnashing her teeth behind her visor, and she's reaching for the other stormtrooper with her one good hand, and he just looks utterly stunned.
All right. The person is kind of pinned down. They can't grab the other stormtrooper, right?
Yeah, she's her legs are covered by the body of her compatriot, and it seems like she's literally just now revived, so she doesn't seem to be very strong. So yeah, she's trying to crawl forward towards him, and he's crawling backwards, and I think Jirak is putting down the unconscious bodies of the stormtroopers, but he's certainly not quick to get to a weapon.
Yeah. I asked if there's any saving this one, or if we should just put them out of their misery.
I think Jirak just hisses kill her quickly.
Okie doke.
Try to be quiet about it.
Bunko stopped picking up blaster rifle.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to roll that one anymore. All right. I will whip out my survival knife also, and go for its neck and start stab.
Okay. Do you have a melee attack already made on your sheet?
I do.
Okay. All right. Go for it. You'll get a. I'm gonna give you a +5 like I gave Rodick. This one's a little bit more lively, but is also a little bit more fresh.
So. Four damage.
That is a success. So yeah, you start stabbing her underneath the helmet, like trying to get up through the neck part and like up into her jaw, like trying to, and you see blood start squirting up against the visor from the inside, and like it starts like, and you keep repeatedly stabbing it, but you're definitely not getting it in any sort of vital area that it's gonna stop, and like it grabs your hand with its one free hand, and it starts squeezing very powerfully with the one good hand, and with the other it starts to try to like maul you with the remnants of its like the stump of its arm, and all it succeeds in doing is like splattering you with blood. I'm gonna make an attack roll. It's gonna be a very lame attack because it's with a stump and a hand trying to squeeze you. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. I think Jirak comes up and tries to boot her head into the wall. Rolls enough. What is melee damage on this? All right. Oh yeah, and she, her helmet just like cracks like an eggshell against the wall. Jirak just crunch. There's a splatter, and you come very close to losing your hand in the helmet, but you pull your hand and the knife out just in time. And I think Jirak like takes you by the shoulder and looks and quickly says, "Is your suit compromised? Are you injured?"
No, but I want a lightsaber now.
I think it hisses in some sort of like laugh for its species, like and starts to go back to pick up the other stormtrooper. Do you help the one that went to help her to his feet?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like you can't see him behind his face mask, but like you can just tell by his body language that he is just like utterly out of it. Like seeing this person come back to life right in front of him. If he could have a it's game over man moment, he'd be having it. I think you just hear heavy breathing behind his mask.
I tell him, you've been here for a while, so you should know not to do that.
I think he just says, she's only been out here for 10-15 minutes at most. It's like I've never seen one turn that fast.
Maybe she rolled a 1.
Maybe she rolled a 1.
Endurance 1.
Okay, so you guys start making your way back down the hall towards Med Center.
Yep.
Elsewhere aboard the ship, Private Gore. You you are sprinting down the hall with Corporal Callorn and the medic. The medic, whose name is Narsk. He's a Bothan. I think about 10 minutes ago, the corporal hurried to your post, with a bunch of gear over his shoulder, and just threw your concussion missile launcher in your direction.
Something afoot, Corporal.
Yeah, and he says, "Gore, you're with me. Something's wrong with the lieutenant. We've got to go."
Right.
And 10 minutes ago, you guys just stormed out of the medical center, with the medic, which is incredibly unusual.
Can't be good if you're bringing me that.
yeah. He's put you on lockdown with a concussion launcher. You've been forbidden to use it. But yeah, he's handing you the launcher, and you say that, and he just points to Narsk, and he says, "Gore," and he puts his hand on your shoulder, and he looks you dead in your soulless black visor eyes, and he says, "Gore, you have to keep Narsk alive at all costs. He is the only medic we have."
My life before his.
Yeah, he nods, and he says, "All right, let's go. We got to go save the lieutenant." And you all rush out of the medical center. This is like the first time the medic has left the medical center in the roughly the month that you've been here. Totally unheard of that you guys have gone. You guys didn't even really mount a search party like this extreme when the commander went missing. So you and the other two are bolting down the hallway. You've been running for about the last 10 minutes. You turn a corner, and up ahead, you hear the sounds of a large group of people moving their feet walking on the deck, and you hear the sounds of groans, and you also hear a high-pitched shrieking noise reverberating through the hallways, which you have come to associate with the more active of the undead. It seems to be some sort of method of communicating over long distances.
They are unusually active in this area.
Yeah, and they all seem to be heading in the general direction that supposedly the lieutenant and the rest of the others went. And I think, you guys reached this corner. Do you poke your head around the corner, or do you let Corporal Callorn do it?
He's the corporal.
Okay, yeah. So he pokes his head around the corner. You see him stiffen a little bit, and he turns back around.
What's there?
Yeah, he comes over his comms and he says, "Gore, we're gonna need that launcher." And he says, "Do you have anything that's not going to blow out the hull?"
I unsling my E-web blaster cannon.
Okay, right.
This should work.
Right, so he gestures you up to the corner, and he says, "I'll cover you against any that get close. You just focus on thinning them out." You come around the corner, and you see 50 zombies, all in a huddle, slowly making their way aftwards. None of them are looking in your direction. They're about, I would say, 80 feet away, in the corridor.
That's an opening fire.
Yeah. So Callorn takes a knee next to you, raising his gun, and I think the medic is a couple feet behind, probably covering your rear. You want to target them with your E-web gun?
The
All
most
right.
rearward ones first.
Let's get a roll here. Are you gonna flip on your
Yeah,
You
so
can-
I reach
wanna-
over and I hit the button on the energy manager. What's it actually called? Sorry.
Yeah, the power regulator. You
Regulator,
turn it
yeah.
on. It's good for a minute. For everybody who's not watching or not familiar with Private Gore is a Uzim. Uzims are large creatures. They are larger than Wookiees. He is in like full Stormtrooper battle armor. It seems to be some sort of like heavier battle armor. He's got this massive like hump on his back inside the armor that seems to be whirring with power at a low hum, and there is a connector tube running from that to this giant E-web cannon that he's holding with both of his hands, and over his other shoulder he has a large portable missile launcher. So you flip on the power regulator. You want to take a moment to brace yourself before firing?
Well,
You've definitely
I
got
wait
like
till the next turn and then I fire.
Yeah. You. This is a surprise round, so you can take
okay.
as much time as you want for this.
Okay. So I flip on the power regulator, and then I brace myself and I take a shot.
All right. Give us our first E-web heavy repeating blaster cannon roll. All right, 25 over a 2x2 square area.
Yep. And they have 5 less threshold.
Yeah. All right. So
That's a damn good shot, man.
So that's 25 and 30 for their threshold. So let me see. I think I have an E-web here. Blasters. Oh, do I not? I have trench guns. What are these? Oh no, that must be Death Star trench gun. Oh, close enough. So the end of the corridor like just lights up like the surface of the sun as Private Gore unleashes a full barrage. For reference, Private Gore, how much of a charge pack did this just use?
1/8 of my total reactor capacity.
Yep. Which for anybody else that would be like 1/2
Half a power pack.
Half of a power pack in one shot. Focus over 2x2 square area, however. Let me roll something. I think, yeah, a good... I want to say a good 25 to 30 zombies are just insta-gibbed right there. You hear this high-pitched shrieking intensify and then cut off as the rear end of the zombie horde is just melted apart and blasted, and bits and pieces of them fly and actually act as shrapnel to vaporize the next row. And it is just absolute mayhem. And I think like maybe you look over and Corporal Callorn is there, and you can see like there's a little bit of a flash reflecting off of his face mask.
Good enough for you, Corporal.
Yeah, he's just like, good shooting, Gore. Yeah, there's like a sudden shrieking, and you can see panic within the zombies, like if the zombies can panic. And several of them are on fire, shrieking about. It looks like 5 or 6 of them have turned and have caught sight of you and are stumbling in your area, but the vast majority of the horde have not spotted them. And I think as they start to shamble in your direction, the corporal starts to try to pick them off, so you maybe don't have to waste all of your shots on a small group. Nope, does not hit. Let's see here. I think they're not going to get to you in the first round, so he's going to have opportunity to throw maybe a grenade next round. I think he takes a shot, and then he uses his move action to pull a grenade from his belt. But he doesn't throw it yet. What do you do on your next turn?
I target the next biggest group.
Okay, so you ignore the 5 that are coming. You know, it's just 5 of them. There's like another 50 behind them, and you plow into them as well.
Yep.
All right, give me another roll. Ooh, green. Oh, damn. 32 damage. I think this one, the blasters, the blaster bolts are firing through the crowd. One hits a zombie, and its legs go in one direction, and its arms go in another, and those are independent of its torso and its pelvis. Gore flashing everywhere. There's a reason why you don't have a nickname, Private Gore, because your name is fitting. The hallway is now, like, I think the deck plating is starting to heat up, and there's bits where it's like running off of the walls. And I think you decimate, like, with that shot. Very few survive that number, and I think there's maybe the 5 that are running, or I guess shambling towards you, and there's probably like another 5 on the very far end of the group, and that's about it because they were so tightly clumped. So you've effectively reduced this group of like somewhere between 50 and 80 to somewhere around 10.
More manageable numbers now, eh, Cat
yeah.
Lorne?
Yeah. Calorn throws a grenade. That's a successful grenade throw. The 4, I guess the 5 nearest zombies, they definitely all bite it. It just leaves the 5 on the far end of the flaming. It looks like something out of Diablo, really. Like, it's just a Diablo or Doom.
So
It's a hall of body parts.
I spend a action to re-sling the E-web and draw the riot gun.
Alright, yeah.
From my hip. No need to waste heavy guns on these.
Yeah. Alright, so they're I think they're not even like aware of you at this point, the 5 survivors. I think they're so concussed, I think you can see blood coming from their ears. They're like shambling and running into walls and stuff. And I think the corporal motions both you and the medic forward into like a small part of hell. and he puts like a blaster bolt through one of the one's heads that's probably still like, there's probably an upper torso that's still moving. And you start wading through the massive bodies.
Yep.
Do you let off the occasional riot gun charge on the occasional one that's still moving?
Yeah, for just single fire at the time.
Wham. Then you get to the. I guess you're getting to the far end of the hallway when you see. You get into a more easy, manageable point blank range with the 5 proper survivors. What do you do? They're still not aware of you guys.
I'll take an auto fire shot with the Espo riot gun.
Nice, yeah. So the
After
Espo,
taking a moment to line up.
Yeah, so the Espo is a is an automatic fire riot gun that looks like an oversized pistol in Private Gore's hands.
It just like lines up and just auto fires. All right. Ooh, that's actually a low roll.
Would you like to force point that, Private Gore?
Sure, why not? I've never used a force point yet in this game. Why not?
Use the force, Private Gore. That is exactly enough. Auto fire, yeah, that's enough. You just sweep the deck, and you take these suckers down. The last 5 drop at your feet, and I think the corporal places a couple strategic headshots here and there. constantly looking over his shoulder to make sure that the medic Narsk is still with you. But yeah, you make it through.
Threats
And
eliminated.
your boots are basically covered in blood. There's like a fine red mist that's kind of settled over your white stormtrooper armor. It's a little bit pinkish now in some places, and yeah, you've definitely come out the other side with a little bit of your namesake on you. When you get to the other side, I think the corporal takes out his
Keep an
data
eye
pad.
out. More will be attracted to the grenade
Yeah,
and our other mayhem.
yeah. He takes out his data pad, and consults it, and he points you all up another corridor and says, "We'll have to be fast, but no telling what the situation the lieutenant's in. We got to move." And
Better
you
stay
all,
close.
yeah, you all start running.
Sorry, did he have a name? Did I miss that?
Narsk.
Narsk. Okay.
Yeah, he's a
I
boffin.
would have used his name if I remembered it. Medic Narsk wrote down on my pad. Narsk. Okay.
So yeah, I think Narsk is like totally silent, and I think you catch him like staring at a piece of intestines that's like flash fried like bacon to the wall. I think maybe you have to like grab him by the collar and pull him along for the first few feet. And you guys start running up the corridor. Somewhere else in the ship, Bunko, you hear a grenade go off, not terribly far from your position, and you hear a large amount of blaster fire.
I say, sounds like somebody's having fun.
Yeah, I think there's like a pause, and Lieutenant Jirak lets out like a long sigh, and you can see his shoulders slump, and he just says, "Gore." as he listens to the automatic blaster fire in the back, and he's like, "They will be coming soon. We must link up with them immediately." And you guys continue down the path towards the blaster fire and the grenade sounds, Bunko.
Sure, wherever is safe.
Safe is a relative term on this Star Destroyer. Considerably farther away, making your way towards the maintenance section. Rodick, you and Hal pass through a set of double doors, and you come to a stop because you've entered a section of the ship which you did not expect to see in the least. You've entered a large open room. It's several stories tall, and it seems to be several football fields in length. There's probably one in width, probably, and there's just like this moment where you pause because you see like a sign to your right that says I think it's Grum's Diner, and like a sign to your left that's like Blast Tech Incorporated Munitions. You have entered some sort of shopping mall.
I thought I entered an ATST hangar for a brief moment. That's the sad part, but yeah.
Yeah, you. Yeah. I think on a sign in front of you, it's like PX1. Welcome to Promenade 47.
Does any one of these places look like it might have a hover shopping cart?
There is definitely like a there's definitely like a mart nearby that it looks like it's consumable goods. A lot of the power is off in this section. You know, only a few lights are on, but there does seem to be some life support, some power. So So yeah, you're looking around and you see what seems to be like one of many potential candidates that might have a some sort of grav sled or the like.
Are any of them close to the munitions shop?
One is in fact just up the street, if you would call it a street from it.
I turned to Hal and
Near like a gazebo where there's like an obvious eating place.
turn to Hal and say we should do a little shopping while we're here, and I'm gonna start
I think
making my way towards the.
You do that, and you hear under his breath like, "Just a minute ago, you didn't have time for anything." And then he slowly follows you. So so you enter the Star Mart. There's like a pile of like destroyed shopping carts in the front of it. There's also a couple not destroyed ones. It looks like this is definitely some sort of food commissary.
I'll definitely grab the one that looks like it's in the best of shape and see if I can switch it on. And then
no power.
can I take one of my power slugs from my my rechargeable pack and slug it in there?
Oh, is this a standard power pack?
Standard power pack.
Yeah.
All right, I'll plug a power pack in this thing.
Give me
get it
a
activated.
mechanics check.
Sure thing. Let me roll it.
This seems to take like some sort of proprietary non-blaster grade battery. the difficulty check for hot wiring it is very low.
Probably ironically, the reason I keep these batteries on the chargers for my injection wrist thing, so I can keep it up 24 hours. That's just a weird fact of why I have it. I am trying to get my inventory. Oh, here we go. Let's finally get it up. Mechanics. Here we go. 20.
Oh yeah. You not only wire it up, you see like on a tiny little display like power output at 145%.
I'm gonna just smile under my hood.
And it hovers like a full 6 inches off the ground.
Just say good. We got that going. Does it look like it's locked over there? And I'm gonna take the cart, hover it right around it, taking it right through to the weapons or the munitions shop.
You hollow over like it. Does it look like it's locked over there?
Yeah, I'm gonna holler. Well, kind of. I guess probably not like loudly all the holler, just like across the room when I get that close to him.
You just hear him like turn on his lightsaber. And then there's like a slashing sound, and he's like, "Not anymore."
Start running the cart that way and say, "Sounds good to me." And I'm just gonna roll it right into the munitions shop and see what's available.
Okay, all right. So it seems to be a very tiny shop. It's like your local Blastech Industries, which is a subsidiary of I think it's the Blastech Corporation. It deals with like their proprietary power packs and stuff built specifically for their weapons to arm the fine young soldiers of the Empire. And you see like I think you see like a poster or no, it's basically like a cardboard stand-in like at the front of like a stormtrooper holding up like a Blastech battery with like a little bubble print saying like, "When I'm fighting the rebels, I only trust Blastech." And yeah, there's like a couple small shelves filled with some electronics. It's not like a huge mart or anything, but yeah, there's like a small kiosk here, and there's several shelves, and there seems to be like a door to a back room on the far side.
I'm going to assume that they keep the good stuff in the back room, I'll say, and might glaze the shelves, but mostly blow past them and for the back room.
You see several containers of power packs, probably long dead. Quite a lot of miscellaneous electronics parts. It looks like some blaster parts as well. But you make your way to the back room?
Yeah, I'm gonna make my way to the back room.
Okay.
I wouldn't know what I'm looking for. I'm not a tech.
You come to a thick metal door with a keypad lock.
I turned back to Hal and say, I think we found what we're looking for. Does your key unlock this door as well?
He just sighs.
A bit of a laugh.
And like once again like jams his lightsaber through the lock, and like as he's melting through it, he's like, what exactly is it that we're looking for?
If we're gonna go through the engineering sections, we might want bigger guns. Or anything else we might find inside of here. Figure if it's behind a heavy metal door, it's probably worth having.
He just shakes his head. The door pops loose. And I think Hal kicks it open and walks inside with his red lightsaber glowing, leading the way.
I'm going to step in, and I might look to see if they have any remote detonators, but I don't think that's their line of business as well.
Yeah, so
Another thing.
This seems to be some sort of like the back room does have some shelves. It looks like this might be some sort of weapons maintenance shop. Definitely not meant for people from the public to come back from. There's several desks back here, several lockers, and it looks like there's a door that says exit on the very back side with another keypad lock on it. And there's like a storage closet, and you can see there's like a smattering of random weapons parts. Most of them look non-standard. Like there's like a heavy weapon part here. Like is that like the tripod from an E-Web cannon there? Why is there an AT-ST like gyro mounted on the wall? That sort of thing. What exactly are you hunting?
Yeah, I think that I will probably be looking for anything that looks like an unusual part. Maybe I can bring it back and they can do something with it, because I know that probably their weapons aren't in good shape. And also, more importantly, I'm looking for anything that might be like a remote detonator or possibly an intact weapon that they might have been working on that looks like it's finished. Anything that's of interest here.
Let's see here. Give me I guess a perception check.
Sounds good. Rolling perception. And I got a 20. Not up, well, nat 20, but it's 20.
Alright, so you see a lot of the standard Blast Tech Imperial weapons lying about. Ironically, you see... Like, you do kind of a double take, and you think you see another one of those weird DLT-20s. The kind that you had to leave behind. It looks like your standard DLT-20A, but it's got, like, some weird things with the receiver. You could have sworn this was the same thing that you saw in the armory. It looks like it's been mostly put back together. It looks like it's just got it's in a state of partial repair. But what catches your eye, lying atop the desk, is a Fasacorp Imperial Heavy Repeater. It catches your eye because it definitely does not use a power pack, because it is a slug thrower rifle.
Oh yeah, that
with a
catches my
very
eye.
high magazine cap. Like it's got a big extended magazine. It also looks to have an underbarrel grenade launcher.
Rodick's got a horrible idea right now. Does there look like there's any ammunition around here for it?
You start like poking around through drawers and stuff.
I'm definitely probably gonna take this thing and just drop it in the shopping cart for the moment. Yeah, then I'll take a quick search through the drawers, see if I can find any
Blue light
ammunition.
special on aisle 1, slug thrower rifles. Yeah, you find a single expanded magazine of slug thrower ammunition, and it looks like 3 concussion grenades meant to fit into this launcher.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna slap those into the gun. Do I see anything around here that might be able to easily mount this weapon to the front of the hover cart as we go through the shopping mall?
Well, there was that E-Web tripod. I don't know if it would be easy.
I'd probably ask Hal if he can give me a hand with this as I grab the E-Web tripod.
Okay, yeah, so he sighs and he says, I didn't think I'd be spending my last hours building a demolition cart with you, Rodick, and he picks the E-Web tripod up and helps you slot it into the cart. You try to attach the gun to the tripod.
Yeah, that's my plan.
Right, give me a mechanics roll. I think Hallek starts poking around the lockers in the storage closet.
13. Do I need to use a fort point? Whoa, that's loud.
You can use a force point if you would like it to take less time.
Hang on 1 second. Oh, I'm sorry, something got tagged on in the background and suddenly blasted me with audio. How much time does it take right now?
It's probably going to take 10, 12 minutes.
Yeah, I hate to do it, but I'm going to use a force point.
All right. I think you hear Hal swinging his lightsaber from the other room, and you hear like a sizzle as it passes through something. And you hear something drop to the floor.
Does it sound like meaty something or like?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get this thing attached as fast as I can and take it right on out.
Yeah, he just says, storage room's clear. It's a little bit of a mess, though. I wouldn't come back here if you have a weak stomach.
I'm gonna say that if I had a weak stomach, I don't have anything left to go after the first.
All right, it'll take like maybe 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna strap this thing down as fast as I can.
All right. Hal comes back with what looks to be a medical kit with a bloody handprint on it, and dumps it into the cart.
Never know when we might need that. You think we could use the rear exit here?
He moves forward and he says, "Not sure where this leads. You want me to give it a shot?"
Yeah, I'm gonna look to the door and say it might be a way that get us off the beaten path.
Yeah, so I think he sighs.
Around.
I think he sighs and he like moves forward and he says, "If only my Jedi masters could see me now, using this as a glorified lockpick." And he just starts like slicing through the door again.
Way to say it's quite useful, hasn't it? You should market him. I'm sure that the Sector Rangers would buy quite a few.
Alright, so by the time he has that cut open, you've got the cart ready. And he opens the door, and like a body falls through, like flat onto its face. And you see a pair of zombies standing behind it in the corridor, and they just immediately turn. It seems to be some sort of maintenance corridor. You see on the other side, no more than 5 feet away, another door opposite. It looks like maybe it's a door that runs between shops. And they turn and they just, whoa, and they start stumbling into the room. And I think Hallek says, "Not that way." And he moves to close the door with the force.
Yeah, I'm gonna start backing up with my new mobile gun turret.
So
Keep
he
it trained.
slams the door with the force, but there's still a zombie in the room getting up off of his face. What do you do?
Light him up. I don't know how I'm gonna roll that because I don't have the weapon in my inventory, but
You can just give me a dex plus your base attack bonus.
sure. Is there a
If you go auto fire, you get +2 damage on
Yeah.
burst or auto fire for
If I
for
can-
this particular model slug thrower.
I will burst if I can. Probably not go for full auto because just one. But
Do you
burst,
have to
definitely.
have a feat to burst?
I don't know. That's something that I don't have any idea. In that case, I won't burst. I'll just fire.
There's no reason why you can't burst. Let me make sure, because I know Gore has it. I want to make sure he gets something from burst. But
My BAB is 7. I'm going
I don't
to
have
roll
burst fire
roll
quite
my
yet.
dex
Oh, you
so
don't?
we can figure it
No.
out.
Not yet.
It basically allows you to reduce the. You basically make the attack at. It consumes 5 shots instead of 10, but it only hits one area or one target and gets +2 dice. But it uses the same penalty.
Okay, so if you're using burst, I'm just gonna house rule this. If you're gonna try to burst without the burst fire feat, you'll use the less ammo, and you'll take the same penalty, but you're only going to get 1 dice of damage.
It's fine. I'll just take just one big old shot with it. It's fine by me.
All right.
I'll save the burst for a different time since it works that way. But yeah, I'll just take my
Oh
shot.
yeah, you definitely hit. So let me give you a damage to roll here. If you want to enter this into your thing eventually,
Yeah, I'll absolutely try to punch it into a macro very shortly here once I have the stats and stuff for it. I'm sorry, I forgot.
Alright, so this is the equivalent of a slug thrower rifle. It does 2d8 damage. It has, it weighs 4 kg. It does piercing damage. The only difference between this gun and a standard slug thrower is it has an ammo cap of 40. It gets +2 damage on burst or auto, and it has an attached concussion grenade launcher. So roll
Sounds good.
roll 2d6 plus half your level.
And also, since it counts as a rifle, do I do it as
Slug thrower rifle that will up your
Oh, no, it says it up
dice.
from D8 to D12, so this is D6.
Wait, up what to D12?
This is what's written in the for Sports Hunter. Sorry for the
I thought it's
slowdowns. I'm
supposed
not
to
sure.
up it by one when you use a slug thrower rifle. Oh yeah, do 2d12 then.
Okay, won't complain about that. Do I add my BAB to it, you said? Or half my BAB, or how does that work?
No,
Or
it's
my,
not bad.
my
It's
heroic
it's
level?
half of your heroic level.
So +3 then, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, here we go. $2d12 +3.
Oh, slaughtered. Yeah, there's a sudden ringing of gunfire, and this zombie, as it's getting up, it just gets sprayed like through the head and the chest, and down across the back and the legs, and it just like collapses. And I think Hal is like holding his hand out, and you can hear like a beating on the door, and he's just like, "I think it's time to leave, out the other way."
I'm gonna totally agree, and I'm gonna spin this hover cart in place and then kick off and start hovering it out the door in the other direction with my gun
Alright.
pointed forwards.
So about this time, Bunko and the rest of the survivors are rounding a corner, and you see a giant white wall in front of you holding an E-Web cannon. Next to this giant white wall of a stormtrooper is Corporal Callorn, and behind him is another stormtrooper. And I think there's like a moment where everybody raises their blasters, and then nobody shoots each other. And I think the lieutenant looks and says, "Corporal, what are you doing here? You are supposed to be defending the base." And I think the corporal like rubs the back of his helmet and just says, "Sir, we heard the explosions. I had to come investigate." Gord, take up a defensive perimeter.
Very well.
And like over the next like 20 or 30 seconds, like the situation is explained. So I think Lieutenant Jirak pauses and looks to you, Bunko, and says, "We can get everyone back to the medical center, but with Narsk here, we could see to treatment immediately. I would prefer that we get them back to safety before proceeding. However, he's basically giving you an opportunity to weigh in, but he doesn't seem to be taking orders."
It sounds best if we take him back to sick bay. The doc will probably have better equipment back there anyways.
Yeah, he nods, and he assumes command of the party, and begins moving onward. So everybody begins moving back to the medical center. About this time, Bunko, your systems have rebooted, and as soon as they do, there's like a repeated comm message that's like coming over and over again. Like it's a request for an open channel.
Okay. What is it? Who is it?
So you hear the distinctive metallic voice of Zeta 3 on the other end. It says, Agent B, I've been attempting to raise the others. There is a situation aboard the Far Ranger. More accurately, in the bay in which the Far Ranger is resting. I have not been able to raise either Officer Concord or Officer Farseeker. I am unaware as to the tactical situation and I'm in need of instructions. And I think like somewhere in the distance you hear a blaster cannon fire.
Alright. What's going
Uh,
on?
he says, there is a horde of horrible undead creatures attempting to board the ship. Like you hear like another blast, and he shouts like, "No, N-52, you aim further away. You cannot risk damaging the landing gear."
So why? You guys have the door down?
He says, No, but they have been most persistent over the last 12 and a half minutes.
Just get on the damn turret and start shooting the damn guys.
There's like a long pause. But Agent B, my programming specifically states that I am unable to affect any form of entity with lethal fire.
These guys are dead already. They're trying to rip us apart. Get on there.
Do you want to give me a persuade roll?
Alright, this is probably going to be a reroll, but...
Yeah, I think there's a moment, and he comes back. Very well, Agent B. I will defend the Far Ranger to the death. N-52, begin recalibration of the ion cannon. I will take the blaster turret. and the comm goes dead.
You go.
It'd be funny if he hits the panel that I rigged, otherwise the force field will shut off. That'd actually save him.
Cuss afterwards, stupid droids.
Somewhere in a closet, Signal rolls over in his digital grave.
Bark.
So Rodick, you emerge back onto the shopping mall with Hallek in tow, and like a pair of zombies bursting into the workshop behind you, and I think Hal pulling the door closed, but since you guys have used the lightsaber, he is not able to keep it closed.
I think that I'm going to say we should start moving quickly before the more start showing up. I'm going to try and pick up the pace while getting ready to blast anything that gets in between me and where we're headed.
Yeah, he's just like, gee, that's an amazing tactical assessment. Is this how you got to be a senior enforcement officer? As you start like running down the mall with the technical shopping cart in front of you.
I'm going to say that I'll have to tell you about it sometime as I guess keep kind of swiveling the cart in front of me a bit, looking to see if anything's going to try to block us.
Rodick, can you
I'm
make
pretty
me
much a dead sprint.
An endurance check, please?
Absolutely.
Ooh, that's a good one. All right, you feel you've been feeling over the last several minutes yourself starting to become more and more ill, but you're able to push back the effects for now. As you and Hallek are making your way through the post exchange, you can see that there are several other of the undead coming from nearby shops. They're all scattered, but they're all kind of making their way in your general direction. And as you're moving through, you hear a shriek, just going from one end of the hallway to the other. It's like reverberating. It's unnatural, and you can see that one of the undead is opened its mouth and it's like shrieking to the rafters almost, and it fills your spine with like this cold shiver of dread. And somewhere from another hallway, the shriek is answered.
That does not sound good. Yeah, is there a way to turn down a hallway that does not go past the horrible shrieking?
Yeah, you could definitely try to avoid it. You'll have to go through a couple of the undead who are making their way out from like one of the starboard corridors. You can see there's kind of like a large gathering around this shrieking zombie now.
I'm going to turn to Hal and say, go around or punch through.
It's like, either way, we need to do it quickly.
The hell with it. Punch through. I'm gonna push through. Get the friggin' concussion grenades ready in the auto rifle here.
Okay, right. So yeah, he once again goes to ignite his lightsaber, and he that wasn't power down. That doesn't matter. He begins to run a little bit forward in front of the cart, but not getting in front of the gun. And moves to slice down a single zombie that's moving in from the flank. Need to bring up Hal's sheet. Whoa! Slices his head clean off of his shoulders, and I think like gives him a push away from the cart. Yeah, there's this quickly forming mass in front of you. It looks like maybe 15 of them, all focused around this zombie that seems to have been shrieking. What do you do, Rodick? You're coming quickly up upon them. Behind them is a large double-sized corridor that seems to run out of the shopping mall in the general direction you need to go, back towards the officer quarters.
Yeah, I'm gonna line up a concussion grenade. I'm gonna let them rip as we try to go right through to our destination on the most direct path possible.
Nice.
What should I?
Well, so
what should I roll for this?
Effectively, this will be the same as a normal, like a normal shot. It's going to be Dex plus your BAB.
Sounds good. I have a BAB of 7. Let me roll my Dex. $17.
Oh, that's a definite.
Does my artillery shot apply to this or not? Not sure if that.
It has to be out of point blank range for
so
artillery shot to apply. So unfortunately, no.
That's fine.
Grenade damage on concussion grenades is not in the standard book.
8d6.
Is it 8d6?
It's like twice what the grenade is.
8d6. I'm looking at it right now. I just found it too.
Yeah, go ahead and roll it.
Here we go. A lot of ones.
Got some 6s and 5s in there too.
Yeah, that's true. Oh my
Yeah.
god, that's a lot of damage. Holy crap.
Yeah. Concussion grenades deliver a devastating explosion of kinetic energy enough to crack bones and jelly internal organs. A concussion grenade explodes on contact after it is thrown, dealing damage in the same round in which it is hurled.
I had no idea that a concussion grenade did twice the damage of a frag grenade. That actually.
Yeah.
I never noticed that before. Holy crap.
When you make an area attack with a concussion grenade, you can make a single attack roll and compare the result to the reflex defense of every target. There's no way any of them have anywhere close to the reflex for that. Creatures hit take full damage. Creatures that are missed take half. Yeah, so, the concussion grenade just goes whoop, and you hear bones shatter and break, and there's this shriek as they all basically tumble outward away from the impact point of the grenade, and you just annihilate this entire horde.
I just keep on running with the hover cart right in front of me, right on through as pan through the shopping cart area.
All right.
Snapshot anybody gets close to me.
What is your reflex score?
Let me see here. If I'm not using my declared bonuses, it is.
Yeah, I don't think you can.
With armor or with flat-footed?
With armor is fine.
24.
Okay, a zombie grabs you by the ankle. One of the zombies hit by the concussion grenade. It's emitting a low shriek as you run past it. Grabs you by the ankle, and just holds. And like it almost like topples you over just because like you're running straight past it and you were not expecting it, and you almost like topple with the cart. And I think it sends you into like a half stumble.
I think as soon as I can catch myself, I'm going to take my slinker, spin it in a complete 180, and try to shoot it off of me.
Okay, give me a roll.
That one I do have in weapons.
It's prone, so you can get +2 for being next to it.
Awful damage, but
only 9 damage, but that was enough. So yeah, there's this whoop as it blows its head clean off, and this shrieking zombie just as it clumps back to the deck.
I'm trying to brace on the guard as I shake my leg, trying to kick that arm off and keep running.
How Hal extends his arm out, and like a shockwave of like the air just crumples an entire batch of zombies nearby, and one of them flies through like a partially broken plate glass window at the front of a shop, and that effectively clears the rest of your path to get into the hallway and out of the shopping mall.
I'm just probably gonna be grinning ear to ear and thinking this is a hell of a way to go as I punch through the doorway and keep on running. Then cart ready to go, leaning over it like a friggin' gun turret.
All right. Meanwhile, the rest of you finally make it back to the station. And I think Reyla and the other two are rushed immediately into the medical center, although one of them is split off and is moved to isolation. Bunko, do you say anything about the fact that Reyla's suit was breached?
Yes.
Okay, she is moved to isolation as well, but the medic sees to her very quickly.
Iraq, what happened?
So yeah, he turns to you, Gore, and takes a breath and says, "We were on our way to the CO's quarters. We were ambushed by a small horde of them. There was a misfire incident, and a power conduit was hit, resulting in a significant explosion. The other two, well, I'm afraid that the techs were killed. The sector
That is a
rangers,
shame.
however, decided to make their way forward.
They survived.
The last we saw of them, yes. They were in a little bit better shape than we were, surprising given their initial condition. I think he kind of winces and says, we must regroup and attempt to send someone else after them, but
Gore reaches into his pocket. Need a med pack.
yeah, I think he shrugs and he says, I'm afraid I may not be in the best condition. I might only be a liability in the field. And he turns to the corporal and says, would you be willing to head back out? And Callorn turns to you, Gore, and looks at you, and he says, "What about you, big guy? You willing to head back out there?"
Kind of like rotates his E-web arm. I never get to use this much.
Yeah. So he shakes his head and he says, "Yes, sir. We'll definitely be ready to go. We'll give us some time to rearm and see if we can maybe reestablish contact with them. Were their transmitters damaged like yours?" And he goes on into the explanation. So on to some medic rules. All right, Reyla, it has been not quite another hour, so you don't have to make your check yet. The medic is going to attempt to use first aid on you. What is your level, Reyla?
7? Yes, 7.
You regain 27 hit points.
Alrighty.
And let me see if that brings you all the way back up the condition tract.
I don't think it normally does.
I think you can kind of, given that you can spend actions to bring yourself back up, unless you have a persistent condition, I don't think it matters. As long as you're given a few minutes to rest.
Yeah, I think it only matters like if you're actually in a combat scenario when you're revived.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, you're revived. You can mark yourself back at top condition. And what is your fortitude?
It's 19. But I
Without
think
armor?
One of that is armor, I think. Actually, no, it's... It should... It's 22, my fortitude. And it looks like one of that is probably armor. Yeah, it looks... No, it's not. It's 22 without armor.
Nice.
Oh, no, it is. Never mind. I'm wrong. It is 21 without armor.
Alright. So you come to consciousness in the med bay, and the medic, Bothan, is standing there in like quarantine gear, and he seems to be studying a medical readout.
What hit me?
He turns to you and he says, "Oh, you're back up so quickly." Yes, the lieutenant said that there was some sort of power junction explosion. You were lucky to be alive. Fortunately, not everyone can say the same.
Are any of the others alive?
As far as I'm aware, your companions, your fellows from the Sector Rangers, are all alive as last they were heard. Several of them have gone on alone, however. Do you, try to sit up?
Yeah. I'm sure he's probably gonna object to it, but...
Actually, he doesn't. He says, "Oh, it's good that you can move so early. Good signs." And he says, "Unfortunately, the explosion damaged your environmental gear, and there was a breach in your suit."
Go on.
Does Reyla have like a sinking feeling about this?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. He looks at you and he says, "Fortunately, however, as he takes off his mask, you do not appear to be infected. We are unsure as to whether or not you were simply lucky or you have an immunity. But you seem to have dodged a blaster bolt."
I think that's what got me in trouble in the first place, but I'm a little fuzzy on that detail.
Yes, you have been treated for a blaster wound. I had assumed that it was one of the infected that shot you. Is this correct?
I am unsure at the time.
Yeah, he shakes his head and he says, "Unfortunate. They're not typically good shots, but the more practice they get, the better."
Say some of my team went on.
He shakes his head. One is still here, however. Would you like me to show her in?
Yes. I'm in the quarantine room, right?
Yeah. He sees you looking about and he says, "Oh, never fear. However, we have made sure you are not infected. We'll have to get you a new set of environmental gear. However."
Indeed.
So he exits the room and gives you the news, Bunko, as well as the others, that Reyla will make a recovery and is miraculously not infected.
All
B.
right.
B.
Do you know where the others went? I assume that Rodick and Hal went on.
Yep, they felt their time was short, so they decided to go all gun ho and move ahead. We had to bring all the unconscious back to the med bay so that they could get fixed up. But once everybody gets up and running, we can try to meet up with them. Hopefully, they are not dead yet.
Do you know if they got the elevator working?
No, all the techs died.
No, that is unfortunate.
They also left a signal back in one of the rooms, being that we had no way of carrying him back here with us.
Shame. We probably could have jury-rigged him long enough to get the door open.
So I think the corporal walks in and he takes off his helmet and gives you a nod and he says, "Good to see good to see that you'll make a full recovery, ma'am. We've been trying to contact the rest of your team. However, there seems to be potentially an issue with their communications equipment. Do you happen to know if they have any backup channels or anything of the sort that they might be using in emergency?"
Hold on. I might be able to contact Hal. Let me go look at what far-seeing does. I just copied that there. Like, I'm not sure. I may have to check on that, but I might be able to have a message out to them. At least figure out where they are, at the least. I think I remember a tracking program or something of that nature that Al had installed.
By the way, Zeta called there's like a zombie horde trying to attack our ship.
What?
By the way,
Did you inform him that if he gets the shields off in that bay, the air wasn't there anymore, they'd probably die down?
Nope, told him to shoot. But I'll give him a call.
That would probably be good. I don't think mine's working at the moment.
So who does what first? Does Reyla attempt to contact Hal through the Force, or does Bunko attempt to contact the ship via comlink?
I probably should attempt to contact Hal. Though I can use my far-seeing power because I know Hal.
Describe to the rest of us what far-seeking does.
Far-seeing is you gain a vague, momentary impression of events happening around a particular being in some distant place. Time is full round action. One creature you know or have met before. And then make a check against his will defense. His information was alive or dead. Once every 24 hours.
Does he have to be unwilling for the will defense thing?
It doesn't say, but probably so.
All right, let me read this.
If I submit it, I get know whether he's alive or dead, and a vague sense of his immediate surrounding, what he's currently doing, and any strong emotions currently present.
All right, make a use the force check, and may the force be with you.
And dead targets have a will defense of 30 for the purpose of this power. Actually, I have to go to my sheet. It's been 2 hours since I opened it. Far seeing. Use force. Wow. I'm having a great day.
100 XP.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Can't
Okay.
even knack it.
So instead of Jedi music,
You've reached Sith Lord blah blah. Please leave a message at the beep.
you close your eyes and you begin to attempt to contact Hal, trying
did I
to
get
see,
the Imperial Commander who's missing?
trying to discover him. You start searching for Hal, knowing that he's a bright force within your senses normally, and you detect a faint trickle of light somewhere aboard the starship, and you start to send your senses out there, and then they're totally overridden by something else, an unbearably dark presence, something horrifying, and the sensation overrides your senses, and you find yourself standing in like a darkened room. It's a very large room. It seems to have a series of large tanks in it. There's a dim illumination from a series of smaller glass. When I say large tanks, I'm talking like water tower sized tanks. In the foreground, near some like computer equipment, are a series of smaller tanks, like the size of maybe Bacta tanks, glass tubes. There's some faint illumination coming from one of them. It's a light greenish glow. What do you do?
You say there's a person there, or I heard the monitors?
There's a faint greenish glow coming from like some sort of tank near these active monitors.
I guess I would go have a look at the monitors.
Yeah, you're in a very large, wide open room. These
tanks are huge, like really big tanks. Like
there's like 4 water tower sized tanks in the background.
Big tanks. This is indoors.
And then there are like a series of maybe a dozen Bacta sized tanks in the foreground, hooked up to some like machinery. You feel the thrum of power beneath your feet, stronger than it was wherever it was you were, in the medical center. And you begin making your way through this very large room. There's catwalks above. There's metal stairs. You make your way towards this one section of active equipment in this glowing this illuminated tank.
Yes.
Okay. As you approach, you can see that there is indeed like a series of panels still activated, and it seems to have data running through them. And in the tank are floating a pair of what seem to be humanoid lungs in a vat of liquid.
That's slightly terrifying.
And the lungs are being actively pumped. There seems to be a tube hooked up to the lungs in one section, and it seems to be draining fluid into some sort of collection bin.
That seems very, very ominous for some reason. Maybe it's the music, but it does seem that way.
You sense you've had an incredibly cold shiver this entire time running up your spine.
Yeah.
What you know to be the dark side, incredibly strong here.
Wonderful. Guess I would look at the computer, being as it's the only source of light.
Yeah. Flashing across the data screens is like a series of letters. There's a G, an A, a T, C, like what you think is like maybe some sort of DNA sequence. And in one section, it says Project Blackwing. And it also says... thing hadn't closed. Imperial Bioweapons Project I-71A. And it's like flashing an incredible amount of data. But before you can do anything else, you hear something from behind you.
Oh god.
Yeah, you turn around and there is a figure illuminated by a red lightsaber. He's standing there beneath a cloak. He has bright yellow eyes. He seems to be a little gaunt, very sickly. And he's looking in your direction, almost like he can see you. You could have sworn he was looking directly at you for a moment, and then his eyes move, and it's like he's looking through you. And he moves forward in your direction, and he snarls with like an inhuman snarl, and like waves his lightsaber through you, and you vanish, and you find yourself back in the med bay, and you lose D6 force points.
That's not good at all. Do I roll the d6 or do you?
Go ahead and roll a D6.
What happens if I go negative?
That's such a... I love how you ask that question. Do you go negative?
I have 0 remaining force points.
Alright, well then I don't have to answer that question. Oh, that's not good.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. You wake up in a cold sweat,
Yeah.
thinking maybe you passed out due to the pain of your injuries in the bed, and I think like you're just like like looking back and forth.
Yeah, about that. Why does Blackwing sound familiar? I think we saw that mentioned somewhere before. I could be wrong, but I think we have.
Yeah, if you're searching your mind, I think the Imperials might have mentioned that it was the Blackwing virus that was released on board from the knowledge that they garnered from the medical center data. They don't know anything about what the Blackwing virus is, just that they know that it was called Blackwing.
Wonderful. Yeah, about that. A little bit distressed at this point, I think. Just a little bit. Yep.
Do you stay in bed or do you get up?
I think I get up.
So you get up and start getting dressed. I don't imagine you can probably stay still in this image.
No, probably not. Probably not still.
Okay.
Not a thing.
All right. So a few minutes later, Reyla walks is a generous term, shakily out of the room. Bunko, you've managed to contact the ship. Was there anything you specifically wanted to ask or tell them?
Told them to turn off the shields, just shoot the cables that are leading to the generator.
Yeah, I think the medical droid responds, well, there seems to be a good deal less of them, sir, in like a completely different voice than before. It says, Roger, we will begin automated targeting sequences now, and he makes an attack roll.
You broke his computer brain.
Rolls a 2.
Oh God.
Well, if he hits the ship, I guess
He does it. If he rolled a 1, he would have shot the Phoenix. I think instead I think he blasts the Phoenix, but it's not enough to actually like do damage. Like it's a glancing blow. But yeah, you see, I think you hear before it cuts off. N52, get back on those recalibrations. That is unacceptable, soldier. And then it cuts out.
Oh God, our poor medical droids.
So I talked to Zeta. He has everything under control.
That's good to hear, B.
Oh boy.
The zombie situation is cleared up at the ship, then?
Not yet, but he'll get it under control.
Eventually, after a few more volleys.
Right. So about me trying to contact Hal.
Yeah. You weren't successful the first time. Would you like to try again?
That depends if I don't know if I can use far-seeing. If I just use the generic sense thingy instead.
Does far-seeing require expenditure of a force point?
It's a force power. It doesn't come back. Like it's usually like a once per encounter thing.
Yeah. If you wait a while, you can use it again, or if you want to try to use some other method using the force, you can certainly probably try that before.
Yes, I could use the general like force sense thing.
Yeah, definitely. I will remind you that telepathy is also a power.
Yes, that's all. I can do that. I'll get that 1 moment.
On page 77.
Yes, that will do. I need to pull these all out and print them. Telepathy. Link.
I didn't think I was going to get to pull the Sith music out so early.
I was a bit terrified that you were doing so. Yes.
So Rodick's communicator was not working when we rebooted his systems.
I didn't mention that you noticed something odd with his helmet.
Yeah, I thought it was just a sonar thing going off again. But...
His helmet does include his integrated comms. He has a backup comm link, but that was located in his belt and it wasn't part of his suit systems. He never said anything about resetting that. And most importantly, Rodick hasn't tried to get in contact with anybody.
That is true. I remember I tried my backup comm link before and that was fried, so...
I was too busy at Walmart.
Yep. Rodick goes to Walmart, has an adventure with zombies.
Oh god.
Yeah, it looks like telepathy is only like a one-word message, so it's not going to help us a whole lot.
That's probably as much as you can get, unless you just want to sense him, like where he is.
Sense Force gives me approximate range and direction.
Yeah, if you want to do that.
Yeah.
Give me a use the force check.
Watch, here comes another one.
Nope. Exact opposite. Wow. The extremes. All right, so sense the force, you automatically sense disturbances in. Wow, this is really funny on a 20 following that one. Let me cue up some music.
Since Hal is distraught, but it might just be because he's with Rodick.
Well, I get to sense all Force users within 10,000 light years.
Yeah. No, that's a relative companion or close friend.
Oh yes, okay. Not quite
I will say, because of a 20 though, it will be all Force users within 10,000 light years because you 20'd it.
Even normal, like the normal would be 100 kilometers, which is probably more than the ship.
So, you begin stretching out with your Force senses. The first Force user you come across is Hallek. He seems to be, I think this... Let's Star Destroyer length here. Seems to be like maybe 800 meters away. Some of that's vertical, some of that's horizontal. It's a little bit hard to tell on the ship. That's only if they're in great pain. But damn it, it's a natural 20. You sense that he is actually in quite a bit of pain. It's severe discomfort. You can feel something eating away at him, that he's desperately trying to kind of tamp down on. You probably have a reasonable guess as to what that is. The next Force user you identify is towards the rear of the ship. And it sends a shiver down your spine when you feel the same presence you felt when you were in that room, being sliced with that lightsaber right before you disappeared. And you feel a dark, cold presence, like congealing in the back of the ship. Somewhere approximate to the engines, but not quite there. Somewhere nearby. I'd say maybe about here. Do you continue to sense the Force after that? And expand your senses further still?
Probably not, because I don't think I need more than the ship at the moment. It would probably take too long.
You do feel a tingle of awareness on the outer edge of your senses. The same thing that you felt the first time when you were doing this back a couple systems, when you felt that vergence in the Force. It's closer now. Much closer. Not the same star system. You felt like, whereas before it felt like a single massive presence in the Force, now it feels like many extremely strong presences in the Force. Somewhere within 10,000 light years.
Yeah.
Within the reach of several star systems.
I tell B that I've seen the lightsabers, but I think Hallek is roughly somewhere in the maintenance corridors, maybe? He definitely didn't go to the elevator.
Alright.
And he is not the only Force user on this ship?
You mean there's more Jedis on this ship?
That might be a little broad.
Oh, The Jedis are coming back. I'm gonna have to hone up my Jedi skills against them.
I would definitely say that toward the back of the ship, maybe somewhere close to where those labs are supposed to be.
You can probably point out both of their locations when looking at the actual schematics. You can tell that Rodick and or at least Hal is somewhere aft of post exchange 1, and this presence you felt was in what is listed is secondary secondary power module 4. It's like this ubiquitously named place that's just listed there, and there's no system information about it. Like, if you try to find any information at all, it says sealed under the order of the Imperial Bioweapons Division.
Oh, wonderful. I relate that information.
So, Rodick and Hal are moving back. Rodick, you have finally reached a place where you think you can intercept the maintenance junction here that will probably take you up the necessary levels it will take to get to the CO's quarters. You're standing outside of the shaft itself. It's a large black hatch. I think you've probably spent the last couple minutes opening with one of your multi-tools while Hallek probably is stood guard. And you finally got it open.
Is it a long ladder?
You pop open the hatch, and it looks like there is a catwalk on the other side. And it looks like it leads into a small corridor that leads further into the maintenance sections. The ladder is not yet visible.
We need to sigh a bit of relief so I don't have to leave my new contraption behind, and gonna lock and load and then say onwards and just start making my way.
All right. So you have a hard time getting the technical into the maintenance area, but you can. It barely fits. It seems like maybe they were meant to have maintenance carts on these things anyway, and it clatters and makes noise when you roll it across the grating, but not a whole lot. And you and Hal make your way into the maintenance section of the ship. Now, you're going to be passing by one of the auxiliary capacitors to one of the heavy turbo lasers. And as you do, you pass through this corridor and into a section of the ship which is very large.
You said you're passing by the auxiliary of one of the turbo lasers. Is one of the ones that's turned on right now?
It would be hard to tell. You just know that the primary heavy turbo laser batteries were turned on. You're not sure if the secondary turbo laser batteries are online or not.
This is a long shot. I don't know how this would work, but if I flick thermal for a second, do I see any energy, like a heat from any energy signatures around here, or no?
Oh yeah. There's you turn thermal on, and you see a long orange line running through the wall, parallel to the catwalk. Looks like some sort of large power conduit. You see several more down below the catwalk, several above, and as you round the bend and come into this open area, there is a large cube of heat.
I'm going to turn to Hal and say, we should knock out the lasers on the way. While we're here, we needed to anyway. Or at least start so that end.
I think Hal says, are we qualified for that?
Rodick's going to shrug and say, maybe we should dump a few grenades in it and find out.
I think he just winces and he says, well, Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't they have lasers on the other side of the ship too?
Half the lasers are better than no. If we're gonna leave the ship, we're gonna need to take them down, I would think. Your call, but we're here now. Might be not so easy to get here later.
Well, I'm no demolitions expert. If you want to do this, I'll assist. He like looks up at this large, giant capacitor. It's like a secondary auxiliary capacitor for the turbo, like the starboard turbo lasers. And he says, "After you." Like there's you can see that the ladder that you're looking for is right to your left. But going forward, there seems to be a smaller catwalk breaking off to the right, and that leads to one of these large capacitor banks.
I'm going to, I guess, start heading towards one of the capacitor banks and say that we'll try to do this quick. Can't afford to take much time.
All right, so you're gonna have to leave the cart here at the juncture. The capacitor bank little bridge to it is not quite wide enough.
I will do that for the moment with a bit of a sigh. I'm probably going to have to take the gun off of it eventually anyway. And yeah, I'm going to start making my way that direction.
All right, so you and Hal make your way across the kind of shaking corridor.
Yeah, when I glance at this thing, does it look like, before I attempt to blow the hell out of it, something that occurred to me while I was walking, is there some sort of a shutdown, emergency shutdown switch we could pull? Pretty funny
do you want to give me a knowledge tech roll for general knowledge to see if such a thing might be might be conceivable to you?
Absolutely. Oh God.
You think there could be somewhere aboard the ship?
Gonna just shake his head and say,
You don't know if there's a control room for this, or if it would be right on the capacitor. You could look, but
yeah, probably not gonna be the case. I might take a quick glance, but I'm gonna be prepared to start throwing some munitions at it.
all right. So the catwalk creaks as you finally make your way up to the capacitor. It looks like there's been a little bit of damage, or maybe it's just been decay over the years to this section. You look down over the catwalk, and it drops at least 300 feet down. This is a very large compartment. You can see like another 120 feet off aft. There seems to be like another heat source, indicating maybe another capacitor bank.
So what's suspending these things if they're that far up? Are they
They're up on struts. There's also there are also supports built into the superstructure. There's like this massive framework that's built right into the ship.
I'm gonna glance this over and say, well, that's a bit sturdier than I had thought. You have any ideas?
Well, you seem to be adept at causing overloads. I just don't know if that's going to be healthy.
I'm gonna look about for a second, and I say we must find a control panel. I don't
Maybe
think that a grenade's gonna do much to this.
The only thing I can think of, Rodick, is don't mess with the capacitor, just cut the lines. But I don't know what lines to cut. And he's like looking up and craning his neck, and you can see that there's like no fewer than 10 huge like lines coming to this capacitor bank, leading off to God knows where. Each of them like is big around as a person.
I'm gonna look at those for a second and just kind of shake my head and say, I really wish we get signal on the line. And
so
I think I'm gonna turn back and say that I think this might require thermite. We don't have enough to knock these out. They're far more reinforced than I thought they might be.
So you want to look at the like a terminal instead?
Yeah, I'm gonna look and see if I can find a terminal instead. I don't think
Okay.
there's anything we can do with this kind of reinforcement.
All right, so you make your way up to a nearby maintenance terminal. You flip it up and open, and the screen pops up on like a dim blue glow, and it says like auxiliary capacitor starboard side 2, and I think it says last maintenance, and it's like a certain number of days ago that equivalent of like 110 years, and it says like maintenance status critical, rerouted from junction blah blah blah, power reserves down at 22%. Unsafe conditions. Please inform commander. You're in violation of Imperial Code. Blah blah blah.
Do I see anything that looks like it might either be able to ramp all the power off or ramp all the power way up? And those are the two things I'm really mostly looking for.
Give me a computers roll to see if you can navigate this old ass OS system, and maybe find what you're looking for.
Computers roll would be here we go. Use computer.
So you see like power management, but as soon as you click on that, it's blocked. It's asking you for your maintenance ID access code. It's like, please sign in here. It's basically like your time clock sort of thing. You see several other subdirectories, but I don't think any of them are in the realm that you're searching for.
It's gonna decide and says we don't have time for this, and I'm gonna look down. Is there like a panel to like open up the computer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pull the panel open for the computer. I'm gonna pull the pin out of a frag grenade, check it inside, slam the panel, and say, let's go.
I think you do that, and Hal just says, holy shit! He just starts running across the catwalk. So you start running across the catwalk, and, what's your movement speed? 4?
I believe it is 4, yeah.
You don't have Juggernaut yet?
I can't get it to the next level.
Oh god. You do not make it across the catwalk before the grenade explodes. Can you please roll a 4d6, please?
Do I get any bonus for closing the betray before I left? Nah, hang on, I'm just kidding.
We're seeing what the damage around
Let's
the area
see.
is. I don't think the computer panel, which is like the equivalent of like what you have over your.
Does that
I
add
don't-
add half my level too? If so, that's a 15. Don't know if grenade
yeah,
works that way or
anytime
not.
you do damage, you add half your level. All right, so there's this explosion and there's this massive whoop, whoop, and you're not hit by it. The catwalk is. If you listen to the catwalk in the soundtrack, you can tell why this is an issue, because there's a sudden ominous braking, and the back end of the catwalk gives way.
I'm going to grab onto the handlebars, and I'm going to use my repulsor boots to help, if it starts to angle, to help keep moving at a full speed to get to the end of it.
So you're gonna try to grab onto the catwalk and activate your repulsor boots to like float up, like using the catwalk railings as like a guideline.
Yeah, basically they help with like climb checks. I'm hoping that if it starts to get at like an angle and I need to actually try to make it up an angle, it might help me keep ascending at an even rate.
Alright, so you have repulsor boots.
Yes, I do. They're integrated into my suit.
This footwear allows the wearer to float a short distance above the ground. The repulsor boots use a tiny repulsor lift unit in the sole of each boot to elevate the wearer up to 0.5 meters above the ground. With careful manipulation and the positioning of one's feet, they can be used to move, but users cannot exceed a movement rate of 2 squares per round with this method. Although they are not optimal method of travel, they are great aid in climbing, granting the wearer plus 10 bonus for climb checks. However, it does say it has to be above the ground. So,
I'm gonna wait to kick these on until there's a really steep angle, I think.
Yeah.
If it starts to get really steep, I'm using them.
Give me a, what would this initial check be? I guess... Give me a climb check. Yeah, just click climb, and we'll see how well you grab a hold of it and maintain your position as the back half pulls all. It's like I think it's Star Trek Generations when they have the catwalk scene.
Is this with the climb boots or without the climb boots? Because if I was with them, that gives me a plus 10. That's a pretty huge.
I don't see how you can use your climb boots in this instance because it says it has to be above the ground, but
I don't know how they help with climb checks, really. I think it's like, I'm not really sure what
yeah, because the way it is, it repels you from a surface, but the thing is, the surface is, like, not below you, is what's happening.
I think it's supposed to be like...
If you used it, it would, like, propel you away from what you're trying to climb, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know why it's supposed to give me plus 10 to climb checks. It's a weird thing. I don't know how it would work. Like, I'm not figuring it out. But let me roll it here. Hold on a second.
That's not bad. You managed to hold on. Unfortunately, Hal rolled a 1.
Oh, no.
So the grenade goes off, and the catwalk breaks, and Hal loses his footing and falls right past you.
Am I on solid ground yet?
No, you're holding on. The catwalk is broken in half. Like, imagine it on a hinge, and the part you're on is now like, imagine a rope bridge from like Indiana Jones, and somebody cut one end, and the rope bridge is smacked into the cliff on the far side, and now it's facing downward. You are holding on to the railings, and the bridge is the bridge is basically vertical, teetering on the railings itself. Like the railings are bent in half, and it's skewed to the side, and it's swinging back and forth. And Hal, totally unexpecting of what was about to happen, moves forward. There's like a concussion through the thing, and I think he's standing right where it breaks on the hinge. He loses his balance. He tips back. He smacks his head against one of the railings, and he just tumbles straight past you, and into the dark.
Oh no, I'm gonna probably scream something like "Hell" as he goes down. I'm feeling like crap right now in character. Oh god.
So here you are, hovering over a seemingly bottomless chasm. You can't see the bottom. If it's there, it's not lit, and the grating. You can feel it slowly starting to bend and give way. You hear a shriek as part of it breaks, and the railing tilts a little bit, and like you're now canted at like a 30-degree angle to the side. How are you going to get up? You want to try to make another climb check?
Oh yeah. In fact, I'm gonna try. I guess since these things are supposed to do something for it, maybe I'll try to angle them kind of towards the railing, so I can kind of maybe use that to help boost me up while I'm climbing. Like,
yeah, that'll work.
Like
it's just they don't work. They don't work out on open space, is what they specifically state. But if you do this, that'll give you a bonus.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna go for here. I'm gonna try to use them to like put up against the railing and use them to boost up.
Roll it with a plus 10.
Trying to climb this up here. Oh god, poor Hal. I never expected a frag grenade to take out a catwalk, so I didn't think that was even like on the pot. Oh wow. Oh man. Yeah, rolled a 26 with the bonus.
Okay. Yeah, I tried to give you a warning that this place was dilapidated.
Yeah, I didn't think that the catwalks are bad. It was my bad. I mean, I did not expect that.
My bad, Hal.
Oh God.
Yeah, it takes you about a minute and a half of intense muscle work. Your hands grip the grating of the catwalk, and you pull yourself up, and you find yourself panting. There's a ripping sound, and the catwalk falls down behind you, and you pull yourself up the rest of the way, and you hear a massive crash down beneath you somewhere.
Just on the incredible off chance some miracle happened, I'll probably lean over the edge and scream, "Hell!" down the corridor and hear if I hear anything. Hoping maybe he caught something or grabbed something with his magic force tricks.
If only he had taken levitate. Also
keep my heat scanner on and see if I see any sign of heat in the darkness.
Give me a perception check.
Let me give you that.
It's pretty good. Difficulty is a little bit high, because the scanner... I don't think the scanner for heat has an incredibly long range, unless it says otherwise. I wouldn't think it would. And you're in a very large room, and there's a lot of extraneous heat sources in here, what with the capacitors. You can also see some random surges coming from the capacitor where you detonated the grenade. It's a little distracting.
100 meters, if that matters.
100 meters. You might be able to see the floor of this room. Yeah. Yeah, you can. There are faint heat signatures down on the bottom of what looks to be... It looks to be like there's some sort of... This is, some sort of large maintenance section, utility section, generators and whatnot. It seems to be there looks like there's bits of broken catwalk down there. It looks like there's industrial loaders. You can just vaguely see their silhouettes through the heat signatures. And you can see not one, but multiple moving heat signatures down there. About, probably about 250 feet down.
It's gonna make me frown. I'm gonna look for just one more moment. I'm gonna see if I,
Not that far. There's no way it would be that far. Probably like 100 feet down.
Probably, it's 100 feet. I'll probably look and see if any of them look like they might be Hal that's moving down there.
You see a faint heat signature underneath some debris that's not moving. You're not sure if it's a zombie or not. Can't be sure if it's Hal. The ones that are moving around do not look like Hal. If he's there and he's moving around, you can't see him.
I'm going to curse and try to switch to my sonar view and do a ping. Do I see any ladders that lead down?
You get a shrieking noise through your helmet when you try to ping, and like you fall to a knee, like just utterly disoriented. You like quickly go and turn your sonar mode off.
I'm gonna curse about the friggin' EMP blast and never know that wasn't the EMP that probably screwed it up. And I'll just think about it for a second, then I'm going to try to see if I can find the ladder to go down and look for Hal. Oh God.
Oh boy. All right. You start moving away from the catwalk back towards the main catwalk junction, past your technical cart, and you fall to a knee. You go down to -2 on the condition track, and I need an endurance check.
Oh crap!
And the -2 came before the endurance check.
I was going to ask that. Oh no.
You throw up. And I think I think it's not like all over your faceplate. It's just a little bit of regurgitation. You're breathing heavily, and when you look up, Hal is standing right in front of you on the catwalk.
I'll probably almost jump and kind of skitter back for a second and try to get a good look and half expect zombie Hal to be coming back for revenge already. But I'm gonna try to see if I can focus, if he looks normal.
Yeah, he's standing there. His armor looks intact. He's holding his lightsaber.
I was just coming down for you. I'm gonna say as I try to get to my feet. What happened?
He activates his lightsaber, and he moves to swing it at your face. And he like screams in rage.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Were you expecting that?
No, I was not.
All right, I think he gets a surprise round on you then.
Give me 1 second. I am trying to check something here. Before he swings. Where's the freaking Destiny handout again? I just want to know where it's at.
It's in gameplay handouts. I can open it up for you. There you go.
Ah, thanks. Just in case it's something that might be bad here. Yeah, okay. That's what I wanted to know. Okay. Alright, go for it.
What is your flat-footed reflex score?
My flat-footed reflex score is 23. No, I'm sorry, no. That's my regular. It's 20.
20.
Oh, I see that condition track's taking points away from my reflex. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty. He hits you.
Do I declare this before or after damage? This is after resolution. I don't know if that means.
What exactly?
Cause
Declare
cause an attack against you to miss, even once the attack is resolved.
You can do that before or after.
Can I see if he can see how much damage before I do it, or can I?
Yeah, that's the whole thing about
Oh, yeah,
even
yeah.
after the attack is resolved.
Yeah.
So,
I'll see if I'm gonna use that.
15.
Ooh, I'm gonna need those hit points. God, not expect to burn my destiny right now. Yeah, I'm gonna burn my destiny and do a almost immediate roll onto the ground very quickly.
All right. So you roll away. The lightsaber scorching across the front of your helmet, like leaving a scar. And I think it's time to roll initiative.
Yeah, I do. Oh God. That's a good time to get 27 on the initiative. Rolled a freaking 19.
Ooh, his initiative was crap.
Oh boy.
All right, what do you do, Rodick? He's standing there in front of you, his lightsaber, brilliant crimson, stalking towards you, and he's just shouting, Rodick, I knew it would come to this!
As soon as he starts doing this, Rodick's like, just when he's starting to like the guy, and I'm going to suddenly bring out my scatter gun with one hand, and I'm going to say, frickin' Jedi, and I am going to fire a shot at him. And I didn't expect to do this right now, but I am going to use a destiny point to automatically score a critical hit.
Wow, burning the destiny like wildfire.
We're going up against the Jedi, by God. This is the time to do it.
Yeah. Alright, so automatically score critical hit, no attack rolled, no attack roll required. So give me your shotgun roll, and we'll just take the damage, and it'll be doubled. Point blank. So 42. Ooh, that's a good shot.
Notably, for my movement action, I am trying to take a step back, and for my swift action, just not really even a swift action. I'm targeting both my dodge bonuses on him, of course.
It's a good shot. And I think you blast him right in the chest plate of his armor, and you knock him back downwards. And were you doing anything else with your actions?
I am trying to get some distance from him while I've knocked him back. And
So you're gonna turn and start sprinting back down the catwalk?
Yeah, I'm gonna start trying to
perception
make a sprint
check.
ahead of him here. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Oh boy, this is a really bad time for me to get in a fight with him. I am not at my best.
Oh, yeah, that's totally what he does. Okay, so he gets up from one leg, like shrugging off the shotgun blast, and holding his lightsaber in one hand, he points his other at you and begins making a fist. And he makes a use the force check. Oh, wow, what a terrible roll. He's going to use a force point. Probably didn't need to, but it's very hard for him to miss. So, Rodick, what is your fortitude defense? That actually probably wasn't enough.
Fortitude defense is 24.
Alright, not enough. You feel a choking sensation around your throat. However, you're able to shrug it off. It seems like he's still weakened by the shotgun blast. And you continue running backwards, like on your turn, to gain some distance.
How close am I to the next platform before like I'm off the catwalk?
Probably 20 feet.
Can I make that in this turn or no?
You could if you weren't running backwards. Like, are you trying to keep your eyes on him?
Yeah, I'm probably keeping my eyes on him, unfortunately. But I am definitely also trying to make it to the end of this catwalk. Get as close as possible.
The thing is, I'll say this. You can always run your full movement speed, but with your perception check, it is very dim in here. You actually run straight into your cart at the beginning of your movement speed, or your turn, and knock it over, and lose a little bit of your run speed just from that. It seems like dividing your attention is definitely not healthy in this dark environment. You can certainly attempt to use your full run speed, though. Do you?
A quick question: how close am I to the ladder?
He's actually closer to it. You're running away from it.
How close? So okay. Oh boy, this is a very, very hard call to make. If I didn't go my full speed, can I get reasonably close to the end at like 3/4 speed?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 3/4 speed, and then I'm gonna turn back, and I'm just going to scream out, "Meet a weapon of a more civilized age!" And I'm firing my nuke rocket right at him. And I'm spending
Wow.
and I'm spending a destiny to crit it.
Okay. He spends his 1 destiny point to negate it.
That just cancel out to be a regular roll then, since I spent the
Yeah.
auto hit.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
He got 1 destiny point from his destiny to train Reyla.
I need to add my half level to the damage, and I don't know if the nuke rocket's on the wrist rockets. I'll have to check, but let me roll it.
18. Would you like to force point that?
Absolutely.
Alright, 20. I think we said that it was a splash 4?
I believe so, yes. I'm looking it up right now, and I know it's in my character sheet somewhere. Trying to dig it up.
And yeah, dig up that that damage. I think it was quite substantial.
1 second. I know that it's on one of my handouts. Hold on a second. I'm sorry about the brief thing. I didn't expect to actually
It's
break
fine.
it out this moment.
It's fine.
Oh, it's on here somewhere. I'm trying to find the damn thing. Hold on a second. God, I've even told people what it is because I've looked it up before. I'm trying to figure out where the hell it is on my sheet. Hold on a second. Might be in it might be under the notes here. Ah, here we go. 8d6 damage, 4 square radius.
Alright, roll 8d6 plus half
I might have
your
misread that.
level.
I'm gonna see if it's 8d8 or 8d6. The font's a little weird. It is d6. Okay. Here we go.
That's enough to hit him with the splash, and Hal disappears in a large spherical nuclear explosion. The catwalk he is on, and the catwalk you're on the edge of, disappears. The ladder is destroyed. The cart goes tumbling through the air, and you run into something. When you're not looking, you just smack straight into it and you knock it over as you tumble onto the next platform. 4 squares. The square is 5 feet, right?
That is correct.
Okay, that's a lot of area damage. I think anybody in this section of the ship probably felt a tiny little rocking of the ship just for a brief moment.
Not expect to use it right now. Did not expect him to attack me right now. This is going all kinds of bad.
So, Rodick, you find yourself lying in a heap against something or someone, and you look back behind you, and the catwalk is just utterly destroyed. You have a radiation sensor on your armor, don't you?
Yes, I do.
It's going wild right now.
It is to be expected as I sigh. I am also very paranoid because I don't believe this bastard's dead even after I hit him with a nuke. Damn Jedi, I'm muttering to myself as I try to immediately get a look of where I'm at right now and what on earth I hit.
So the zombie that you ran into rolls a 1, and is unable physically to get up from your bulk. But yeah, you're currently on top of the zombie, having probably broken its pelvis.
Yeah, I think that I'm probably just going to stand up and see if I can I guess take a step back from this thing.
Yeah,
Maybe,
it looks like a a guy in a technician outfit. His skin long since like kind of plastered to his skull, but you can actually see through his faceplate.
I'm gonna try to spike him in the head, and if he's wearing an ID tag, I'm probably going to take it.
Okay. Give me an attack roll. Actually, you know what? He rolled a 1. Fuck it. You just kill him.
Gauntlet spike.
Yeah, you spike him right in the head. When you pull back, rage in your mind, you're shocked to see not the mechanic, but Hallek, right in front of you, having just spiked him right in the head.
I'm gonna take a immediate step back and think it's not real. It's not real. I'm gonna think friggin' Jedi mind tricks, man. I'm going to immediately scream out, "Where are you, Hallek?"
There's no response, but you look down back at the corpse, and it's the technician again.
I'm gonna turn back to it and just look back around and just shake my head and say, I can't believe that happened. Finally starting to like the guy. I'm just gonna start grabbing my my wounds and limping towards what was the way out of here? Is there a way out of here from where I've ended up?
Yeah, so you're on another platform between this area and another capacitor. And you can see the platform stretching onto another corridor, and that seems to be leading to some sort of maintenance room. There's like a mesh or a wire locker there. But before we continue with you, we're going to flash back to the others. Reyla, I think have you been trying to talk the others into taking any sort of action in the past like 30 minutes? Because it seems like at the very least the corporal is getting ready to head out with Private Gore.
Yeah.
Are you trying to like come along with him or what?
Yeah, I definitely would be.
Once the medic has some time on his hands, want him to try to patch me up a little bit.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's see here. How much health do you regain?
I'm down 23.
You regain 13 hit points. Plus, what is your level? 7? So another 7 on top of that, so a total of 20. I think you're getting ready to go. There was some initial protest, Reyla, but you want to be out there trying to find your team, and you definitely don't want to be here after like the visions you've been experiencing. And Bunko seems to be ready to go, and the corporal and the private are getting ready to head out. They've been waiting a little bit for you to get ready. When you feel an intense moment of pain and like shock coming through the force from Hal.
Okay, that's quite worrying. I probably have to tell you that we need to hurry.
All right. So I think the corporal says, you said you had some sort of tracking program. Can you locate your friends?
Yeah. Last saw they were in the. I think it's one of the maintenance corridors. It doesn't look like they went for the elevator.
He nods and he says, "Gore, are you up for this?"
Always.
All right, so you four head out.
Indeed. I think so.
All right,
Alright,
so you
so-
guys head out. We're gonna skip forward a little bit in time. Rodick, what have you been doing since your encounter with Hal? It's
Trying
been
to make my
about
way forwards.
maybe 30 minutes.
Try to move forwards, complete the mission. If I've got some sort of audio recorder, well, actually, did I have that? Hang on, let me check real quick. I think I might have my recorder on me. If I do, I'm probably going to record a log of what happened. Should someone find in my body? Let me take a quick look. Crap, I don't think I brought, I think that it was someone else brought the recorder. I forgot, yeah, someone else took it when we left. Just Kai about that. And, if I end up in a corridor where I can just walk straight ahead, I might take my data pad out and write, beware of Hal. He is turned on us and is, possibly gone to the virus. He might be dead, but I don't believe that Jedi can ever truly die like that after seeing what he's done.
They're invincible. You can't
And-
kill a Jedi.
And I just write something along those lines, and if anyone finds my body, I tried to continue
Okay.
forwards, and then I'll just keep marching my way
Um,
forwards.
To your best knowledge, when you're skipping through all of this, you see an icon come up on your display. It seems like your diagnostic that you started running on your sonar systems has finished, and they are active again.
I will definitely mutter something finally goes right, and I will engage my sonar system and look for a path out of here.
Yeah. So you're looking. You're having a frustrating time finding an actual path out of here with the sonar system. It seems there's like a lot of interference in here. Do you want to give me a perception check?
Yeah. Let me get a perception check. Hold on one second. Rolling perception. That was an awful freaking roll.
All right. So you begin kind of wandering the corridors past this maintenance section, and eventually it seems like you spot it before your sensors do. Maybe there's still something wrong with them. You do find a ladder going up.
I'm gonna take a deep breath and start trying to make my way up the ladder.
All right. Yeah, you start making your way up the ladder. As you do, your sensor systems start to indicate that there is a significant amount of motion below you. Like you're looking, and your sonar senses are detecting at least a dozen active motion signatures, like moving in from several different maintenance corridors, all converging on the base of the ladder.
Well, in that case, there's only one thing you can do. I'm going to grip onto the ladder very, very tight, wrap my arms on secure, and I'm going to pop a frag grenade down the shaft.
All right. Roll damage.
Sounds good. Let me do that. I'll just roll the whole attack. That should do it.
Yep. Boom. There's a whump from the bottom of the ladder. The whole thing shakes and dust comes down over you. But after a moment, your sonar is showing movement is clear.
I take a deep sigh of relief and continue climbing as fast as I can before they're called to the base of the ladder by the explosion.
Yeah, you start thinking that, and like almost as soon as you start thinking that, you actually see another series of motion signatures starting to converge at the base of the ladder. Do you climb faster?
Yeah, I'm gonna climb as quickly as I can climb.
Yeah, it
Time
seems
to
like
get out of here.
the bottom of the ladder is probably destroyed, fortunately. You emerge onto level, I think it's probably 43. This is the level that you wanted.
We'll roll out of there and
You come out of like
Try
a
to see if
small
I can-
duct, and just ahead of you seems to be like a maintenance door that looks like it's normal person size. Like this looks like it might be used for typical access. It's kind of a small room.
Okay, I will actually open or close the duct behind me so it's not obvious what floor I got out on, and start heading that way.
All right. How about the rest of you? Can you give me perception checks?
Perception.
Ooh, Gore is really perceptive.
That's interesting, being as I only have a +4.
You've made your way through through this shopping mall. It appears like some sort of on base post exchange. It seems like there was some sort of minor combat here. You find a couple groups of a scattered, destroyed undead. It looks like most of them were crushed by some form of
big
concussion
went through
damage.
here.
You find some blood here and there. It seems to be mostly abandoned, though. You don't really find any active infected except for 1 or 2, which are quickly dispatched. Reyla, you're still trying to home in on your feeling, right? The last time you tried this, it was coming from aft of this section.
Yes.
You want to give me another roll?
Actually, pretty low.
The DC for sense surroundings is not sense surroundings. Sense force.
I think it's equal to their will defense.
No, that's your Farseeker thing.
I think they work similarly.
Farseeing. No. As a full round action, you make a DC 15. Use the force check.
Oh.
So yeah, you succeed. You do sense a force user somewhere to the aft of your location. You are also picking up considerable amounts of great pain from someone whom you definitely recognize as Hal.
Okay,
Well,
it's this way. I lead them that way.
Okay, yeah, so you leave them on.
I was tempted to say he was in great pain, but the explanation I have given them, that would not apply.
You come across an open square black access hatch that looks to lead to some sort of maintenance junction. Looks like there's a series of catwalks beyond it.
Catwalks, it looks like.
The feeling is definitely coming from very close by, like somewhere beyond this bulkhead, on the other side of whatever this large room is.
It seems to be across the room. The catwalk fell, right? It's not intact.
Not in the section you're in. It looks fine.
Oh, I crossed that way then.
Yeah, so you guys go into the maintenance section. Can you give me more perception checks? So you're moving through here, and it looks to be some sort of series of large capacitor banks. Private Gore, you haven't served a whole lot of time aboard Star Destroyers, especially not of this class, but you can recognize them for what they are. Like they're the capacitor banks for the auxiliary capacitor banks for the turbo lasers. It's a very big room. You look to your starboard or to your aft, and you can see that there has been a massive explosion, taking out a giant chunk of the catwalks. You also see that there is a huge amount of shrapnel, blood, and gore sprayed all over the wall and all over the catwalk here. You can see like the part
Something
of it,
big hit this.
yeah, part of an arm here, part of a foot here. You actually can see a torso, like half of a torso hanging from like a support beam over here. It looks like some sort of large group got absolutely demolished. There's like way too many body parts to be like a single individual.
If it looks fresh, I say this is probably Rodick.
It's been flash fried to the walls. I think anybody with any sort of tech, probably Gore. At the very least, the corporal is getting radiation alarms. Not fatal by any means, but they're picking up radiation spikes. And I think Private Gore, the corporal, turns to you and says, some sort of radiological notice. The beradium explosion?
Seems like it. That type of warhead could do this.
Rodick had a rocket.
Notably, you all told me I couldn't have them.
Yeah, he pats you on your back. Maybe next time, Gore. He turns to you, Reyla, and he says, "You were saying something?"
Rodick had a rocket. He spent an arm and a leg to get it. He'd only use it if he had to.
A beradium rocket? Like he says, like obviously, like a little incredulous behind his helmet.
I believe
Man
so.
has good tastes.
Yeah, he just he looks at the edge of the catwalk and shrugs, and he's like, "Well, we're not going this way. Are you sure this is? I mean, I guess they came through here. It's still hot, but are
Good
they
thing
anywhere
he didn't hit those capacitors. That
near?
thing could have caused all kinds of problems."
Yeah. Reyla, you're getting that feeling of like pain and anguish from close by, but it's actually beneath you. If you look down beneath the catwalk, you can see like just a stretch of darkness beneath you.
The sensor's going off down below. I think I have one. I have a flare. A glow rod. That's not really the same thing, though.
Or just takes out a glow rod, drops it.
Yeah, so you drop it over the side, and it drops, and it drops, and it drops, and then it eventually clatters to the floor like 100 feet down. There seems to be like some sort of large lower deck down there, and you can see some machinery. Binary lift loader turned off.
George here. Don't see nothing.
Looks like, I think at the very edge of your light, you can see a ladder leading down there.
The sensor reading summoned from down there. I'm one for going down to check it out. If I find the ladder up here, I'd be gladly go down first.
Alright, so you want to take the lead, Reyla?
Indeed. Though my hit points say I shouldn't, but I will anyways.
Perhaps I should go down first.
I think everybody stares at Gore, and I think the corporal says, I don't know, Gore. That ladder might collapse beneath you. Oh, well, I'd rather you be down first than above me. Yeah, go ahead.
So, is it it's more than 15 meters down, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I could take the wall.
We'll stare at him a little dubiously.
Do you eject your climbing claws?
I eject my climbing claws.
All right, give me a climbing roll. So these metallic claws eject from his gauntlets, and yeah, he jumps off of the. I guess you describe how you want to do this.
It's actually a lot higher than that. It'd take the heavy load box again. That it shouldn't have. Should be a 30. It's like I just go to the edge of the catwalk and then just like smack an arm into the wall, and it adheres, and I just like climb down.
You slide down a few feet, and then you start like clambering
Blowing
down.
myself,
You all
yeah.
see he's leaving like werewolf-esque claw marks in the side of the bulkhead, and
I make the comment to the corporal, not one for subtlety, is he?
he just shrugs and he says, "He's good to have on jungle planets. You've never seen him fight a rancor before." And he starts climbing down the ladder. A few minutes later, you guys reach the bottom. Private Gore, you reached the bottom way beforehand, and I guess you like secure the base of the ladder. There
Yep.
are a lot of bodies down here. Some of them are just parts, obviously, from whatever explosion happened up top. But there seem to be a bunch of like deceased stormtrooper corpses down here. The old model armor cut to pieces, scattered about like a 20-foot area. Everybody eventually reaches the bottom of the ladder and regroups with Private Gore.
Big fight down here.
Looks like it. I
Don't
need
see
to
any
search
zombies
around
though.
for Owl signal / person.
It's hard to adjust. Give me another use the force. You're really close, and you're feeling a lot of pain every time you open up to it, like huge amounts. Your right arm especially. Actually, no, it's your left arm. Your left arm especially is on fire.
Signal should be close. I probably thought, Hal?
You do sense his presence coming from 20 or maybe 30 meters further down the corridor, and as you walk by, give me perception checks, everybody.
Oh god, it's a 1 again.
Oh, Reyla. Once again, Agent B, Reyla is leading the way, and you notice, no, actually, the corporal notices first that there is a one of these zombies that has been seemingly diced in half, was diced in half at the waist, and is crawling towards Reyla. And he goes and he takes his shot. Attack modifier. It's a hit.
Hits who?
The zombie.
The half zombie.
Yeah, I don't think this situation would replay again. But you never know.
Oh god.
Reyla rolls 1 on perception. Zombie comes out. Somebody shoots Reyla. It's a thing. His damage. There we go. All right. Yeah, he blasts this zombie right in the head. And I think Reyla, like you're walking by it, and like you're just totally shocked by the blaster shot, and you look next to you, and there's like an arm reaching out for you, and then like the body just slumps.
Was he supposed to roll d5s?
D5? Supposed to be 3d6 plus 5. Well, regardless, that was enough damage.
There are possible results on a d6.
Yeah. You're noticing quite a lot of blood up here, and Reyla, you have. I think the reason why you didn't see the zombies, you were really distracted because it was very obvious to you that all of this was done by a lightsaber. You come around the corner and you find a body leaned up against the back of a it looks like some sort of large machine, kind of like in the shadows. There seem to be like a dozen bodies kind of arrayed on the path to him.
Al, is that you?
He doesn't answer at first, and you do you take any steps towards him?
I approach him, yes.
Okay. He turns his head, and you see that he's got like his lightsaber in his hand, although it's not active. And you hear over his comms, Reyla, and you can see as you're getting closer why the source of the pain was so intense. His left arm has been severed at the elbow.
Oh, God.
Oh, if this is your man, he's in a bad way.
What do you do?
Out of game, I know he can't benefit from the force healing anymore. I probably just rush over and like, Hallek, yeah, I mean, we're here. I don't know what I could do.
I think he says, "Did you find Rodick?"
No, but he appears to have fired his rocket upstairs.
Is that what that was? We were doing something with one of those capacitors up on the catwalk, and like he obviously like I think he lets go of his lightsaber, and he kind of like clutches the stump of his left arm. You can see that it has been seared clean at a flat angle. You get the distinct impression he might have cut his own arm off. Because it looks like it was done with a lightsaber, like it was very precise. And he says, Rodick did something with a grenade, and there was an explosion. The catwalk came down beneath us. I don't know what happened to him. And like he winces again, and he has to take like a few moments to pause to breathe.
Probably go with med pack. Or one.
I don't think he can benefit from it. He like I think you probably check, and like it looks like he's definitely already hyped up on medical supplies right now. And he says, I got trapped under some debris. There was a bunch of them down here. Then there was a big explosion. I don't know where Rodick is.
That's fortunate. I only sensed found where you were. Couldn't see where he was. Maybe he went further up.
He just shakes his head and he like coughs a bit in his helmet. And he just says, I don't think it's, and then I think he probably passes out.
Oh, look, I don't think there's anything I can do for him. It just already received healing for the day. Like he's so
Healing
full
for the day.
He's so full of it in his systems. I don't think he can benefit.
Probably Gore goes, he's got a bunch of the hypos in his system. We
Yeah.
could maybe get him back to the dock.
Yeah. If does anybody have like a proficiency with medical skill or anything?
I have training in medic. Mirror and
Do you want to roll something to diagnose him?
Yes.
I think I still got the medical kit on me if you need any of that stuff, too.
So you're examining him while he's passed out. It looks like the wound on his arm has been cauterized. So he's not bleeding to death, but he's probably in heavy shock. It's like kind of a miracle that he was conscious when you found him. You also find that one of his legs is broken, and you think that he might have a few other broken bones, at least a couple ribs. You look up towards the catwalk and then like the debris here. It seems like he probably got real fucked up from the fall.
He seems to have taken major injuries from the fall, and probably took some more after all the remains around here. If we can get him back up there, it might help him. He was infected, but I don't know what else we can do for him.
Doesn't seem like he's in the condition to necessarily get him back to the medical center. Because that was a pretty far way away. And it would also require, I don't know, maybe one of you with exceptional strength and climbing abilities could get him back up there, but it would be difficult.
Reyla?
I could probably carry him up, but it is a long distance to the medical facility.
Does anybody pose any alternative solutions?
Following my boss's orders.
The only thing I have that could help him heal is to put him into a force trance. That won't help him quickly.
I think the corporal says, well, there are trauma centers scattered all throughout the Star Destroyer. Maybe we can get him to one of those. And what do you mean force trance?
Well, I was saying that to you, GM.
Okay,
not to
okay.
him.
All right, he doesn't say that part then, and he says, maybe we can help him there. Then we're gonna have to go looking for your other friend.
Yes.
If he's still alive, and he kind of like looks up where there's this crater where the wall and the catwalk used to be.
That is very true, Corporal.
Corporal,
But,
what was the closest trauma center to here?
So yeah, he starts looking through his data pad, and he highlights one. It looks like it's not far away at all. It looks like since you're in an engineering section, they probably expected some casualties during battle. Probably no more than a 3-minute walk here. You might not even actually have to leave this level.
quite fortunate.
I could carry him, but it will be very uncomfortable for him. With his
Go right.
broken leg.
Gore, I don't think he's gonna mind. He's out cold. Better do it while he's unconscious.
Right. So I sling. But I'm gonna like put him over my shoulder with one arm, and the other arm I have an Espo gun.
Okay, cool. So he's over one shoulder, like right next to your E-Web cannon, and then your concussion launcher is right next to the other shoulder. Private Gore has a tremendous carry capacity.
Well, notably, I'll probably be over light load because I bet he's probably over 40 kilos. But it's
Yeah.
still be fine.
Not by much, but still.
Drop
So do
the
you guys-
power hammer, he might be under 40 kilos.
Yeah. I think maybe do you like cast an eye towards the power hammer? Like, what is this contraption?
What is this big item?
So yeah, I guess the corporal begins leading you all towards the medical center. Rodick, you come out on deck 43 in the officers' quarters. You're looking about after closing the hatch behind you, and this is definitely a much nicer area of the ship. You attempt to get your bearings.
Absolutely. Trying to figure out what the hell is where the hell I am at. Maybe ping my sonar again.
Okay. You ping your sonar. Not a whole lot of luck, but give me a perception check anyway. Seems that it's not back to full capacity.
Stand by. 1 second. I actually had the wrong Rodick up.
There's more than one? Whoa.
No, I accidentally clicked my backup, and I was like, "Why the hell am I?"
You didn't know Rodick was a clone?
Damn.
And the truth is revealed.
Them Caminoans do a good job.
20. Wow. So I think you find an active active info panel on one of the walls that literally has directions to the CO quarters pulled up.
Oh, that's convenient.
I will definitely take a good long look at this. And,
Well, that's interesting.
definitely take a good long look and see if I can match that up to my sonar route to make sure it looks like it's kind of clear, at least the initial part, and start heading that way.
Yeah, you get like some static from your sonar every time you turn it on, and you don't see much. At one point, you could have sworn you saw contact in the wall, and you stopped. You level your gun there, and then there's nothing. Maybe your sonar is not quite as fixed as it should have been. You make your way towards the CO's quarters.
Absolutely.
All right. There seems to be some sort of security checkpoint here, but it seems to have been destroyed. It looks like there was like a couple automated anti-personnel turrets set up here for like the bridge crew section, and looks like they were detonated with explosives or something. And it's definitely a mess here. Beyond, you do see a door marked CO's quarters.
I'm gonna make my way there, shotgun at my shoulder.
Actually, I wonder if that's something I had left over from before. I'm not seeing any limitation on how often I can use force healing. Vital transfer. But yeah, continue on, Rodick. I'll keep looking.
All right.
I'm pushing straight through to the CO quarters.
So the door opens up, and on the other end of a lavish office, with a transparent steel set of windows on either side, most obviously the CO's quarters, there is a very large desk, very rich. This thing is the size of like 2 or 3 staterooms combined. There's like a meeting area, and then you actually see a door on the other side that looks like it's open and it's leading to some sort of private quarters, like an actual sleeping area. Yeah, the lights seem to be on in here. Nobody in sight.
As soon as I get inside, I'm going to try to lock the door behind me, and then I will turn around and see if I can look for any evidence of any kind of data pads, data cubes. Also, I'm looking for any kind of communications like PA system control. I'm not sure if the commander would have something like that.
Give me a perception check. All right, so yeah, you're passing by several things that it looks like you're probably going to want to spend some time with. I take it you're probably drawn first to his desk.
Oh yeah, that's a highlight.
Okay, so yeah, you get to the desk, and you start rifling through the drawers. You find several data chits, what looks like an encoded code cylinder, and you're like, yes, jackpot. You open up the next drawer, and you're like, whoa. There is a pistol lying in the drawer, with a couple clips of ammunition.
Ooh. Yes, I was definitely like, whoa.
Would you like to give me a knowledge technology roll?
Absolutely.
I'll let you roll +2 because it's a slug thrower.
Ooh, hell yeah.
Oh, that was almost a 1.
Oh god, there's a 1. Oh, this is junk. Throw it back.
Oh, that would have been horrible. Rodick, your breath catches in your throat. You know what this is.
Pretty sure whatever this is, I will be taking it.
you say you intake because you never thought you would see one of these in real life. Before you is one of the most feared and illegal weapons, personal weapon systems in known space. It is the Kelverlek Consolidated Arms Dissuader KD-30 Slug Thrower Pistol. The Dissuader KD-30 is a highly specialized and highly illegal slug thrower pistol which was produced by Kelverlek Consolidated Arms primarily during the time of the Galactic Empire. The weapon is specifically built to fire custom, metal-coated hollow slugs filled with boreless acid, which are capable of dissolving armor, flesh, and bone. Any wound inflicted by the rounds are incredibly painful and likely to be permanently debilitating, if not fatal, and using them on a sentient living being is, in many civilized star systems, considered a capital offense. The mere recognition of one of these terrifying weapons is, in many cases, enough to make most opponents think twice before engaging, hence its nickname. Any target struck by a KD-30 slug receives an immediate attack of 1d20 plus 5 against their fortitude score. If the attack succeeds, the target takes 2d6 points of acid damage. If the attack fails, the target takes half that damage that round. The attack occurs each round until the acid is washed off or treated, requiring a DC 15 treat injury check and a medical kit. KD-30 slugs are not common in any market and require custom manufacture. Due to the careful procedures which must be taken because of the extremely corrosive nature of the materials, it is not uncommon to see these going for 100 credits per magazine of 10, bare minimum.
Yeah, I am...
100-year-old corrosive ammunition.
Maybe he picks it up gently.
I am most definitely, is it in a case right now?
It's actually just lying in his, what would be the primary drawer, like right beneath the center of his desk. It looks like it was there, and there's like a couple things of clips of ammo.
I shall need these stats on it, but I'm definitely taking it.
Yeah.
I'm curious, how heavy is it so I can at least
2.2 kg.
Ooh, that's perfect. I can carry that right now.
It is 2d8 damage. Rate of fire is S. Semi-auto.
Give me that one more time. I'm writing it down.
2d8.
I'll put 2d8.
Yep. I will copy the actual details into the chat.
What's the full name of it? Oh yeah, thanks, man.
You can call it a Dissuader KD-30.
It's a pistol?
Yeah.
Ooh, that is friggin' sweet.
God.
It is rare and extremely illegal.
I'm gonna guess that the
damage type is projectile acid.
I'm gonna guess that the acid part of it doesn't get a bonus in Sport Hunter, but the actual projectile hit does, right?
Yeah,
So
you'll project it. It is a slug. The acid damage does not get a bonus, but when you shoot somebody with it, it does.
Oh hell yeah! Yeah, I'm definitely lovingly putting these clips in my.
This is a cannon weapon.
That is badass. I am definitely putting this in
So
my,
yeah, you're like, oh my goodness. I had hoped to arrest one of these a person with one of these for my entire life just so I could confiscate one of these things, and you're like holding it gingerly in your hands. You hear a noise from the open door to the quarters behind you.
Oh, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna have to die with a dissuader. I hear the noise behind me. I'm going to take a quick look because I don't necessarily want to fire the dissuader and bring them all here just yet. But by God, I'm keeping a grip on it in case.
Hal is standing in the doorway with his lightsaber active.
Oh God damn it! I'm gonna probably
forget everything I just said.
Yeah. His lightsaber's active.
Yeah.
I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to target, I'm going to say, well, two can play at this game, Jedi, and I'm going to target his lightsaber with my snare pistol and try to yank his lightsaber away.
Oh, that's great.
Roddick's
You
like,
can
oh,
play this
I
game,
kind of want a
Jedi.
lightsaber.
Alright, give me a snare pistol roll.
Oh my God.
I won't even make you roll initiative for this. We'll do initiative after. You can play this game, Jedi.
Where's my freaking snare pistol? Give me 1 second. Here it is. Here we go. I had no idea what's gonna happen here, but my god.
So what is the text for trying to grapple somebody's... You know what? Fuck it. That's a good enough attack. I'm gonna give him... What is... I'll give him flat-footed. Oh, that's sadly not enough. So I think, yeah, you snare around his lightsaber hand, and he spins the light, like he kind of flicks his lightsaber hand, and it just slips right through the cord and severs it.
Oh boy. Not good.
You want to roll initiative?
Yes, I do. Give me a second. Rolling initiative.
Very average result.
That average you can get?
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
Dark Hal's mad you killed him once.
My defense bonus is against him at least. He's the only guy in the room.
Yeah.
Saving
yeah.
cup, but yikes.
So I think he turns to you. And he goes for another... He once again opens up with a lightsaber slash. Nope. So I think he slices across your armor as you, like, dive back over the desk. He definitely scores a hit over your armor. You feel like a burning sensation there. But yeah, nothing. Can you give me a perception roll before you take your turn?
Absolutely.
Make it a disadvantage. You think you hear a blaster bolt somewhere far in the distance. What do you do?
I'm probably gonna scream out that he's gone mad. As I yeah, I'm gonna once again try to underhand my my shotgun, and I'm gonna bring it up. But well, not the shotgun. I'm just holding the other gun, the new one. I'm gonna just try to aim that down, and I am going to try to I quite ironically shoot his the arm that he's using the lightsaber with.
All right. That'll be a little bit to the difficulty. You still want to do it?
Yeah. Should
All right.
I roll my regular pistol?
It should be the same thing as a projectile pistol.
Okay, I'm gonna roll this at a -1 because I don't have it suit integrated. Let me roll it now.
I was wondering if you're going to remember that.
I accidentally rolled my scatter gun instead of my friggin' pistol, but
I think that's the same thing.
Roll.
23. Would you like to spend a force point?
Yes, I would.
Very close.
Unfortunately, this is friggin' the most I've ever used force point or friggin' Destiny. Holy crap. 6.
15. Fortitude. Alright, so that's going to be half acid damage on his turn. So he passes his fortitude save for the acid. But yeah, you shoot him right in the arm. Whap! And
the damage was wrong. Do you want me to re-roll damage or no?
Yeah, damage you can roll fine. The acid still is described.
So 3d8, and then they do, what do they do? I'm gonna make sure I have this down right. They do 2d8?
It's...
Oh yeah, he has to make the roll, okay.
2d8... If it's a pistol, you add a dice, right?
Yep. So
okay,
3d8
so
for my base.
3d8, the acid effect you don't have to worry about.
Okay, rolling it now.
It takes effect on his turn. So 12 damage to his arm, plus half your level.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
15.
So, ooh, nice.
So yeah, splat, like right in his arm. You hear like a scream from behind his helmet. And do you do anything else during your turn?
Other than the fact that I might try to maybe jump behind the desk for cover, since I'm pretty close to it. If he swings back another attack at me in a moment.
Okay. I think with his left hand, he draws his pistol and begins firing at you. Before he does, let me check one thing. That looks like a hit to me.
Well, actually, hang on. Oh, shoot. Yeah, that just meets. Well, yeah, that just meets.
Yep.
That sucks.
19 damage, Rodick, as you take a shot to the gut.
1 second. That does damage reduction still apply?
Yeah, damage reduction always applies.
Okay, got it.
And, let me see here. Let me read. Can you roll 2d6?
Absolutely.
That's how much. Half of this is how much acid damage he takes. Okay, so 4 points of damage. Like you can see, his armor is starting to melt.
100 credits well spent, I think to myself, very briefly.
Yeah. So on your turn, the d20 plus 5 attack occurs again while you make your action. Oh, no, half damage again. So what do you do?
From behind the desk, I'm actually going to try to use the desk for cover, and I'm going to chuck a frag grenade over it at him.
Holy shit! Alright. You just activate it and just chuck it over. Just don't roll a 1 on your attack roll. Not a 1. That damage was shit.
That whole roll was shit.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, so the desk is splintered. Bits of it go flying. You get knocked back as the desk gets knocked back. He gets hit. And yeah. I think can you please make me another perception check? This time you could just make it regular.
Absolutely.
And roll a 2d6. Ooh, another 4. That acid. You see that acid start to really eat up
Oh god,
on the damage?
that is brutal.
Yeah, there's a reason why it's highly illegal.
I have to see if I can convince the Selector Ranger that it's totally required equipment. If I live to this.
Just imagine what it would do to droids. So, on his turn, he rolls around on the floor screaming. You can't see him on the other side of the ruins of the desk. On your turn, the 1d20 plus 5 attack occurs again, and what do you do?
I think that I still hear him screaming.
Yes.
Then
Another
by
half.
God, it's time for another grenade. Throwing another one over the desk.
Holy shit, Rodick.
Oh God, this could end up very bad.
Do you
I
want
think-
nades?
I think,
Nades?
yeah, during your
Down to one now.
during your turn, as you're pulling the grenade, you hear him screaming, but it sounds a little odd.
I might hold on pulling it for just a brief second.
You can have it in your hand and like almost activated.
Okay, I will do that. I'm gonna almost activate, and I'll try to take a quick glance over the desk.
Okay, so you see a man, not Hal. And he's in a black Imperial outfit with a rebreather helmet on, and he's rolling around, clutching his right arm, screaming as acid dissolves through his forearm.
I'm going to run over. I'm going to try to grab his suit by the neck cuff, and I'm going to start punching him while screaming, "Your Jedi mind tricks aren't going to work on me, you bastard!"
God.
God.
Give me an unarmed attack roll with advantage. Advantage in +4.
Okay, give me 1 second here. I'll have to use my wrist blade. I think it's what I usually use when I roll an arm. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, just go ahead, and the damage will be 1d4 plus half your level.
I have martial arts, so I think that would be 1d6 plus half my level.
Yeah, that's true.
God, that's pretty terrible. What was the advantage again?
Advantage plus 4.
Plus 4, got it.
You don't need the advantage.
Oh god.
Alright, so damage, roll your d6 plus half level. And I'll roll the acid. He takes 3 acid damage as it continues to burn through his arm. You punch him for 8, and he's just screaming, "Ah! Ah!" You just punch him repeatedly again and again, until he smacks his head up against the wall with like that last punch, and he just he either dies or passes out.
I'm gonna hit him with my med scanner immediately.
Okay.
Do I see if he's dead, or is he just passed out in bad shape?
Acid's still slowly eating at his arm. Life signs point to fading quickly. Extreme trauma from on right arm likely cause corrosive unknown acid. Significant blunt force trauma to the head.
Oh god, I'm gonna look at him, and I'm going to take the stun cuffs off my arm, and I'm going to try to cuff his arms with my stun cuffs, and then I'm going to take the med kit out and say that I've never arrested a Jedi before, and I'm gonna just stamp him with something to help hopefully neutralize the acid.
Okay, give me a treat injury check. You can get a +2 for using the med kit.
Where is treat? Ah, here it is. Watch me botch this. It's not very good.
Finally beat his fort. The acid dissolves through his forearm, and it collapses onto the floor. His gun just left onto the floor. There's no way you're going to be able to stun cuff his right arm unless you do it at the elbow.
I might say something. Need to cauterize the wound, and I'm going to pull out my my welding torch from my my toolkit, and I'm going to just totally sear it across his arm.
Oh yeah, there's a moment where his eyes open up and he shrieks sitting up. Ah! Can you please roll 2d6?
Dear Lord. This is just the worst, poor bastard.
And then he dies from shock.
Ouch.
Yeah, he just he just falls back over, and your life signs they start to flatline.
I'm gonna curse, and then maybe a Jedi can die. And I'll just keep looking at him and wonder why the mind effect hasn't faded yet. That's a little weird. Maybe he's still out there, damn it. How many times am I gonna have to kill this guy?
If Rodick survives, we'll have to admit him to a mental hospital.
Oh god, Rodick survives. This is gonna be the worst. I'm immediately gonna go back to rifling through the desk for anything I can find that might be.
God damn it, he might have some more ammo in here.
Might be
So
useful.
I think before we end the session, we skip back to everybody in the trauma center, ironically treating Hal's left arm, where it was severed.
But yes, if
And-
it's required star, I apparently can use vital transfer on Hal again.
Oh, cool.
Doesn't
No
seem-
limit on that?
It had a limitation in the old version, but doesn't seem to have a limitation in this because it deals damage to you when you use it.
Mm. Well, I don't know if you want to do that or not. There does seem to be an auto surgery suite in this trauma center, but it is not active. Somebody would have to spend time to reactivate it with mechanics, or maybe the computer.
Yeah. Well, there's no power to the room, really, right?
Yeah, this is right near the capacitor banks. It's got power.
Ooh. Then
If
yes.
not, I can supply you with some power.
This is true. Private Gore has an internal reactor built into his armor.
It generates 1 power pack per hour. Speaking of which, how many hours has it been since I fired those?
You've gotten 1 power pack back.
Okay.
You guys are lucky
my
not
shot.
down on the tradition track and also very injured. This could end up turning into Rambo at this point. The first Rambo. Just going around as a crazy bastard, killing everyone that's looking for him.
Yes, I would like to try to get that auto surgery thing online.
How do you want to do it? Mechanically or using the computer? There is power. You could try to hotwire it, or you could attempt to just override its protocols somehow.
Hot wiring it to the battery might be best, unless you are quite skilled with the computers.
That is equal for me, either way.
I could assist you with the mechanics. I might be able to.
Probably best to use the computer, though. I don't think we want the auto surgery unit going on mechanical override.
Very well.
I can help you with the computer.
Do you slightly shapeshift your vocal cords to match the private for a moment?
Yes.
I think Gore, you hear yourself talking for a moment and spin around, and you just see Bunko standing there.
You are lucky I'm even able to speak your language.
I don't need to say anything.
So Bunko, are you attempting to help with this
yes.
computer? That's a successful help.
It's a pity he rolled a 19. Mine is probably going significantly lower, I bet. It adds 2, correct?
Yes. Huzzah! It's a 14.
Yep, that's acceptable.
That's not bad.
Right, so you unlock the trauma center, and it actually it seems like it's been used before. Within actually the last 2 weeks, and part of the reason why you have an easy time is it looks like its protocols have already been overwritten, and you're able to get it to start working on helping Hallek. While you're in the system, give me a perception check, I guess. I don't know if the check is strictly necessary, but that's good enough.
I'm taking watch over the door and whatnot.
Yeah, I assume you've got it all locked down.
Yep.
Oh, that was the wrong button. While you're in the system, looking, I think you're about to log out. You're making sure that everything is going to get treated correctly. You see that several files had been accessed from here, remotely from a different section of the ship.
Huh. Odd. I look at one.
So a bright red screen appears after a moment, and it asks for a clearance code. It pops right up, and we will leave off as Reyla reads the following words on the screen. Imperial Bioweapons Project I-71A Project Blackwing. Eyes only, sealed by the order of Lord Vader. And that will be our last little bit of the session.
Lovely.
This was a bad idea even by his standards.
It depends on what you wanted to use it for. Alright, I'm going to start calculating XP. Congratulations for everybody technically surviving the episode. Poor signal in a coma somewhere.
Poor friggin' hell, man.
Commander Melnus, we never even met you.
Yeah!
I hope he was up to no good, because that's pretty sad.
He's Imperial Intelligence. They kind of go hand in hand, but...
Yeah, you can rest assured. He was Imperial Intelligence. He was up to no good.
That was Signal, or was? Dum, dum,
This is
dum.
true.
Dum, dum, dum.
By the way, Rodick, you can return your spent destiny points.
Oh, wow. I did
You
not
were only
expect that.
spending them in your mind.
Well, that is actually kind of awesome. I really thought that I had spent them for...
Unfortunately, you didn't spend your Beridium rocket in your mind.
No, unfortunately not. There goes 4,000 credits.
Oh, God. Yeah, that was the saddest use of it ever, but I thought it was... I thought Hal either he'd gone insane because of the other Jedi, or because he was infected, I mean.
Didn't he
Or
just...
if he'd,
You just watched him fall off the cliff, though, right, at the time? Or off the...
I thought maybe that was enough to snap him out. I don't know how a Jedi's gonna react to this virus. Maybe they get superpowered or something.
On a side note,
I hate to inform you, I don't believe teleportation is above the Jedi powers.
on a side
I
note,
don't
actually
really
is.
know what the Jedi
Is it?
can
I
do.
haven't seen it.
I think
Oh,
it
right,
is.
they got the, like, Ben space-time thing.
I think we might want to do something about the concussion grenade. I mean, being as it's the exact same damage as both the beryllium tip rocket and the thermal detonator, and it's 1/5 the price.
I'll look
Yeah, that is a
into it.
bit
It's not.
weird.
It's 1/5 the price
It's
of
400
the frag.
credits. It's
Ah,
1/5 the
less.
price of a thermal detonator.
Oh.
Thermal detonator is 2,000.
I'll look into it.
But yeah,
I have no hard feelings that that's nerfed. I was like, what the hell when I saw it.
Well, you don't, like... It could very easily accommodate a happy medium and do, like, 66.
yeah, you could do that, or you could make it the same price as the. frag
Notably,
and
the
just make it a different-
damage
It-
type
it-
is not enough to outright kill zombies.
It is bludgeoning. It's
Yeah.
true.
Zombies can technically survive that.
It's true.
That was why there was a lot less bodies in the promenade when they were going through than you left. And that was implied to be the horde that you nuked with your beryllium rocket.
I'm gonna find it funny if this guy had this really calculated plan and it was all coming together, and then he just got killed by some crazy asshole that stumbled in there and didn't know
Some
what
crazy
was going
sector
on.
ranger.
Yeah.
That may or may not be the case.
So, he's probably one of the... It's either him or the Dark Jedi dude who's already been accessed this system, so he may have already encountered some troubles getting there in the first place.
For this session, everyone gets 2,066 experience.
Oh god,
Ooh.
I can get cure disease if I want it.
2000 what?
66.
Oh, that's awesome. That kicks me just a bit over.
You hitting level 8?
Yep.
Oh, Commander Melnus, we did not know ye.
And I know I'm getting Juggernaut. I'll have to see how else this level goes. I'll look at that later, but I know I'm getting Juggernaut. Absolutely.
Juggernaut's very important. Hal has that. That's the only way he can move in his armor.
Oh, it's always been my plan to get it. Just I had to get it
I
at level
level
8
up
to
as
make
well.
everything work right.
Nice.
I am definitely staying soldier for this class. Should I roll my hit points now, just while everybody's on, and then I can work everything
go
else
ahead.
out later? What do you roll for soldier?
D10.
I believe it is D10 plus your con mod.
Here we go.
Wow, nice.
I'll take that. Hell yeah.
The luck still be with you.
I get that on the base, so would I go from 20 to 30 at my current hit points, or would that
Yes, I'll go with that. Normally,
Thank you.
like GMs are of two ways with that. You guys are in a desperate enough situation. I'll treat it as like adrenaline healing, because you're in a bad way.
Oh, very bad way. And I am at 99 hit points now.
Wow.
Gore could potentially catch up, but maybe not.
Oh, you easily could. You easily could.
Gore is a walking armory. He's very impressive.
Yeah, if Rodick survives this and is not driven insane, it will be something. I swear to God, if I get out of this, though, Rodick's pretty much going to turn into Star Wars Max Payne, probably.